your boots and get your game face on. It's time to play touch football. Touch football is back. Our sport is back. It's time for us all to come back together.
We love touch football because of the people you meet, how much fun you have, and it brings communities together, and it's a great way to meet new people and keep fit.
I love touch footy. It's inclusive and it's a game for everybody.
I just love it to improve skills and make heaps of new friends.
I enjoy touch football because I love giving back to the community.
Are you okay?
If you feel like something isn't okay with a friend
Or a teammate, ask the question, are you okay? The people in your world don't always tell you there's something that's troubling them.
So it's important that you make asking, are you okay, part of your everyday conversation.
You start by saying, how are you travelling?
Listen, if they don't want to talk, just let them know that you'll be there for them when they're ready.
Check in. It could be a simple text message or a call just to say, hey, how are you?
As coaches, we also need to create a supportive environment with words of encouragement.
As a sporting community, we need to ensure everyone feels invested in the culture we are building as a group and as individuals.
As a team, we always start with a random conversation question.
Like, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Asking isn't always easy, but it could change your life. So please ask someone today, what are you waiting for? Are you okay?
I started refereeing in high school because I was a player and I wanted to learn more about the game and understand the rules better to become a better player and earn some pocket money on the side, but I ended up falling in love with refereeing and I haven't played since.
I became a referee, my son was playing and I wanted to give back to the sport, and now my youngest son's refereeing. We're both having a great time, and if someone had told me how much fun I was going to have, I would have got into it far earlier.
I got into refereeing because my dad was a high profile referee and I always knew that I wanted to follow in his footsteps, and now I get to referee with my family.
I became a referee as I started playing the game. I wasn't really good at the game. I wanted to still stay involved in it, and I thought, give refereeing a go. I started enjoying it. I started challenging at the top end, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Well, a very good afternoon and welcome here to the Canterbury Velodrome, home of New South Wales touch football. It is grand final day for the Vawdon Cup. We begin with the men's Division 1. James Preston here alongside a legend of the game in the form of Jason Stanton. Jason, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, James. Very excited to be here next to you, mate. James Preston, of course, the voice of touch. I'm pumped. This first game, James, could rival the game of the day. Division 1 men's, Parramatta and Hills. You can't split them. Two absolutely outstanding clubs.
Some red-hot names across both sides. If we take a look at Parramatta, for example, Liam Bissett has been in terrific form the past 12 months. They're led by their captain, Joe Ing. Braden Wickman also one to watch. And on the other side of the ledger, Alex Mickelwraith has had a big 12 months. Callum Spooner was exceptional last year for the Vawdon Cup finals. Ethan Klein will be the captain there, of course, son of NRL referee Ashley Klein, as we see the Hills side on screen at the moment. So coming into this one, Hills, of course, losing just the one match all season. Now, that was to Parramatta. They finished top of the competition with 6 wins, 2 draws and just the 1 loss. Parramatta, of course, 4 wins, 3 draws and just 2 losses. So they're a hard team to beat, and certainly the Hills have found that out first and foremost throughout the season.
Yeah, being Division 1, sometimes the players go up and down from this Parramatta outfit because they have a Premier League team, of course, which are going to feature later today. So sometimes the results during the year, they're not always that accurate, James. Could be players going up and down between Div 1 and Prems.
They are here on Grand Final Day. That's the most important part of it all. And it will be Parramatta who get first use the ball. So 30-minute matches. We've got try and then they'll turn around directions. No halftime breaks. So that, of course, will make things a little tougher for our coaches out there as Ing brings it forward. Short pass now for Boutros. Back for Ing once again. Just waiting for his opportunity to strike. Quick release now. Ing out to this left-hand side. Good footwork again there from Jordan Sarmento. They'll play it quickly, nothing really doing, and they'll simply kill it over the sideline. So good first up defensive assignment from Hills.
Yeah, always good. A bit of a confidence booster to hold him out on the first set, and Parramatta come down very structured and ask some questions of this Hills defence early in the game.
Now, a lovely little spread here from the Hills side, out towards this left-hand edge. Looking for quick meters off the back of a fast roll ball. Mitchell hopping in at acting half. Will hop in there once again. Nice timing about the run. Scooped up here from Matta. Plays it down. Last one brought up here for the Hills. Oh, they're not going to need another one. Beautiful ball. Nolan finds a gap. And in Hills go with their first use of possession.
And we talk about confidence builder from the Hills defence. They've gone end-to-end, coast-to-coast. And how about that dump from Luke Matta? Right on the back of the drive, they rolled straight into the play. The Parramatta winger did not have a chance. Special start for the Hills.
They're certainly looking fine touch here. Long way to go, though. 28.5 on the clock. Great to have your company across New South Wales Touch Football YouTube and, of course, on Bar TV, providing you all the pictures here today. Parramatta scooping it up. Little dummy here from Phillips. Phillips will then head back to this right-hand side, trying to orchestrate something here with Black. Black now threatening to pump it long. Then trying to find a short pass, but it was misdirected. Hits the deck, and there is the turnover in favour of Hills.
Yeah, pretty good standard too. Both teams getting up and down the field well. I like the energy in defence, James, with the defence moving up and talking, been very active. So let's see if that can continue. Certainly looking like a cracking match developing here.
A very good start here from both teams as Curl works it up towards the middle. Won't quite get the strike done. Well, Hills were after a penalty, but not being blown here by our referee, Alec Clark. Of course, also combining with Brandon Sanderson and Caleb Wiles, our three officials for this one. Parramatta now nearly letting that one hit the deck, but nice timing on the link-up. Now pick up some valuable metres as a result. Continue hanging out on that right-hand side, trying to get extra numbers into the action as now Black works it forward. Quick release, up over halfway they go. Going coast to coast here, Parramatta, so very expansive, Stanto.
Yeah, I don't mind it. They come out of the box. Pretty good work here. Here again, I think that was O'Connor with a beautiful dump as well. That's down.
Black, what a ball that was. Really found the money. Somehow split a number of defenders. There was no room to work with for both the pass and the put down, but he's done a great job here, Black.
Yeah, one of the things definitely to look for here, James, is that set-up play because they're driving up and down the field with such speed. It's the player that has the composure and the vision to set up that penultimate dump, which results in the try. So definitely we saw Luke Matta do it earlier, and O'Connor and Josh Phillip, they're also great set-up players.
So one try apiece early on in the contest. 3.5 gone. Picked up here from Bub. Bub now delivers short. They'll throw it wide here for Mitchell. Back on the inside. And once again, Nolan's on the spot. He's got an early double here in the final.
Great work from Hills, and I wanted a bit of a shout-out to the referee in there, Brandon Sanderson. It was a long ball. I think it was about 20, 30 metres. He got on his bike and got himself in great position, and between him and Caleb, they got the right call, and sometimes those close ones are missed, but not on that occasion. The referee's doing a great job, and Hills out by 1.
So rapid start here from both teams. Parramatta have only really had the one chance, and they've capitalised. Hills with 2, and they are 100% as well. Now good footwork. Bouncing around there is Sarmento. Turned away on this occasion, though, from Hills. Sarmento again. Oh, he was looking to shift it on quickly. Couldn't find the hands of Fahim. That one goes to ground. And, again, it's a good result here defensively for the Hills side.
Yeah, and you see Parramatta here meeting them, Jacob, for him, and on that occasion, they're getting up off the line. This is a very high standard game. You'd be surprised at almost like a Premier League level here. Great standard from both teams.
Yet to really see anything from Spooner. Here he is now, though, with ball in hand. Spooner threatening. Well read, though, from Black. Makes the touch. There's the turnover.
Yeah, Callum Spooner, definitely one of the players to watch coming through. Been hearing some good things, too, about the number 4 from Hills, Anwar El-Kurdi. Plenty of speed. So much talent coming through in our game.
Another nice shift here from Parramatta out to this left-hand side. Now they'll take the metres on offer off the back of it with Barnett. There was a little bobble, though, and that was picked up by the referees. O'Connor was trying to get away with it quickly. There's a turnover. Hills, however, will get the result on this occasion. So I thought that might have gone against them, but there was a foot in the ruck.
Yeah, pretty good coaching battle here too as well today, James. We've got Brad Curl and Phil McElwraith on the Hillside coming up against Jason Scarneville. So there's a lot of experience between those three. So let's see how the tactics play out here.
Now Bray. Short delivery for Matta. It's been very good so far. Matta hopping in out of acting half and now linking up with Barb, who takes off. Too quick, Logan Barb just held it in two hands. The defence, as a result, sat back, and you can't allow a player of Logan Barb's stature to have any time or space. He will make you pay every single time.
Yeah, a great quick release and dive, and you pointed it out there very clearly there, James. He had the ball in two hands. The link defender wasn't sure if he was going to pass or not, created a bit of doubt, a bit of hesitation, and then a great one-hand put down, and just like that, the Hills are out by 2.
First bit of breathing room they've had so far. It's now Parramatta with Ing. Hopping in and acting half. Little short pass there that he provides for the work of Wickman. Wickman then trying to find a little something. It was touched, though, from the Hills side, so they'll get an extra set to work with. Played here from Sarmento. Back to the middle again. Wickman looking for a quick release. Doesn't quite get it on this occasion. He'll continue waiting at acting half. Now just simply dumps it off here for Boutros. Wickman again. Wickman looking for an opening. Now, was he onside is the question. Wickman didn't think so, nor does Sanderson, and as a result, he can go straight through and put Parramatta's second try on the board.
This Parramatta team, just so classy. You can't make any mistakes at all. There wasn't a lot in that. There was no overlap or anything. It was just a sharp put down in between players. Again, a bit of indecision. So a really good tip for those watching at home. Get the ball in two hands, shape to pass, and go into that dive in one seamless motion.
So 3-2 the score is Spooner now for the Hills District. Works it forward. Curl. Spooner does have that massive pass, and it's not just the right to left, but also left to right. He can really throw it. So too can a pass from Bray, who goes out wide. Great covering, though, from Parramatta. The pass is forward regardless, but they got on their bikes very quickly and shut down the play, even if that pass would have been ruled legal.
Really, really good standard, James. Just the speed of it is so impressive, even to what I saw earlier throughout the year in this division. Both these teams are really turned up, full of run, ready to play, and hard to pick a winner.
We often talk about, whether it be at country champs or potentially the State Cup, other tournaments, when we get those 18s division, about how rapidly they go about their work here. We're almost getting a combination of Premier League finesse and that speed and energy from the 18s in this one.
I think so. Definitely the speed there. I was having a talk earlier this morning with Dave Collins. He coaches in this division. He thought Hills might get the chocolates today, but Dave was very impressed with the young talent in this division coming through.
Oh, here goes Bub again. Just so electric. Took off, got low, and chops them up right through the middle. He's taken a few blades of grass, but he gets a second try.
Yeah, they're really interesting tries here because players aren't really getting beat, James. It's just sort of almost man for man, but they're really good finishers. And if anything, the defence is probably given a bit too much respect to the attack. And at the moment, that's why we're seeing 6 tries in the first 8 or 9 minutes. It might be the team that muscles up in defence that comes on top today.
So doubles now for both Nolan and Bub. Hills have 4 tries on the board. Parramatta needing this strike back here. Wickman bouncing off the right foot, then floating a pass over the top. Geez, he made that look easy. Into the hands it goes of Boutros, and they reduce that margin, 4-3.
Yeah, well, definitely players were beat on that occasion. A beautiful middle dump, the link coming onto it, sometimes called an ML for that reason, middle with the link coming on, and a loft-in beautiful pass to the wing, and that should be a bit of a warning shot to Hills. If you allow Parramatta to set up their attack on a platform, they will make you pay.
Great pass there from Wickman, cutting out Boutros, ending up in the arms of Bissett, who gets the try. So 4-3 the score, with Curl just slowing things up a touch here. Now takes off. Still had El Kurdi on his left-hand side. They've hit the deck on that occasion there with Luke Matta, who was looking for a penalty, not forthcoming, though, from Sanderson. And finally, he will get it. So you can see there Parramatta stepping up, but not the full way. They were taking themselves out of the action before they were making a real play at the man. As a result, that penalty is invoked. So out to El Kurdi it comes once again. Quick release, El Kurdi trying to use his speed and get on the outside. Well shut down on this occasion, once again from Black, who's been great so far, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, there's definitely been some really good starts to the game, but 10 minutes in, I think it is 7 tries. Were you expecting a shootout like this, James, or you think the game will settle?
From what we've seen so far, I think it's going to continue with a high-scoring affair. There's just so much potency in both attacks. Yes, they're good defensive outfits, but you look at the speed of the likes of Bub, those long balls from Wickman and Spooner. There's plenty of potency across the board.
Yeah, I think Hills, I think if I was in their box, I'd be wanting to do that spoiling type defence, nice and loud, scrambling. That's try and unsettle Parramatta. Definitely this Parramatta outfit, when they get a good platform dump where they want to, it's almost an automatic try. So that's what I'd be looking at if I was on the Hills side of the ledger here today.
It's a nice press there from Bray, who made the touch. Parramatta will keep it alive on the following play, though. Quick roll ball. Fahim out there now once again. Holding in this left link position. Oh, and then losing their footing. Somehow kept it alive. That was fancy. Into the arms of Sarmento it goes. Fahim now. Out of acting half on the last. Fahim with a speculator. They somehow keep it alive here, Parramatta. Hot potato. This could be brilliant. Oh, they tried to turn it back on the inside. Played out from the Hills. Jeez, I think had they just kept going to the right, they would have stripped them for numbers.
Yeah, they probably wish they had that one again. Probably through the hands would have got them to try to level this one up. But I mentioned a few tips there if I was on the Hills box. If I'm in the Para box, James, I'd be looking to drive a little bit better through this midfield, because clearly when they get down there, they look so dangerous with the ball. You mentioned a couple times, so really a midfield drive-in focus for Para is what they need here.
I certainly think O'Connor would have released had he had his time over. Speaking of which, I don't think they would have released that one there from Balin Mitchell had the Hills had their time over. So a turnover. That might just be the door ajar here for Parramatta. They'll start this set inside enemy territory. There goes their captain, Ing. Now a quick release from Fahim. Helps in at acting half once again. Short pass here now for Boutros. Good footwork from Black back to Fahim. They were thinking about that quick roll ball. Slowed it down. We'll get the penalty. Chance to set up camp now.
Yeah, and this is that platform we're talking about now. Let's see what Parramatta come up with. We've got some class out there. You mentioned Boutros. He's had a whale of a season. John Boutros for Parramatta.
Black once again. Oh, big left foot step, then straightening. Jeez, that was sharp work to get around Nolan initially. Fahim. Black. Ing. Plays it quickly, wrapping around. Here's a good chance now. Firing is Parker. For mine, that's gone forward. They'll have a little conference here, the referees. There's at least 3 Hills players claiming that it has gone forward, but it will stand. So maybe a question mark on the ball from Parker. Well identified nonetheless, though, and Bissett has a second.
Yeah, generally that'll be the call to the referee on that side. You'll probably catch it on the replay. The pass thrown in front of the line. It can be caught in the in goal if it's backwards out of the hand, James. So that was a close one. And hopefully the referees got it right. I think they did on that occasion, and we're locked up at 4-4.
So approaching the halfway point of this match. Of course, 5 games coming your way here today. This is the first. Bub, oh, good footwork again. Nearly beat them. Jeez, hasn't he had a good start here, Logan Bub? Last one brought up now for the Hills. Bub floating it long. Nothing Mitchell can do about that. It'll go into touch, and that will be the turnover. But, geez, he's, so far, you'd have to say, probably been the most dangerous player on the field, Logan Bub.
Yeah, I don't know enough about this Logan Bub. He looks like a complete player, doesn't he? He's attack, defence, had a nice long ball there. Great on his feet. Logan Bub, if you didn't know him before this game, you definitely want to write that down. The number 10 for Hills, having an absolute superb grand final here. We're not even at that halfway mark yet. 8 tries.
Parramatta have to be very wary here. They've got both Spooner and Bub on at the same time. Here is Bub now. Just backtracking a touch. Eventually links up there with Hunter Jones. Bub now wrapping around. Hops in an acting half. He's looking to set up a raid here. Spooner wants a quick roll ball. Doesn't quite get it. It was aggressive from Parramatta. Up and in the faces with that touch. Now Spooner gets a better roll. Spooner looking. Oh, finds a whale of a pass, but unfortunately it comes out of the arms. Well, that was a real gimme, but Charwood couldn't control it. What a ball, though, from Spooner.
Yeah, Charwood plays a bit of AFL, so I don't think he'll be too happy with himself dropping that one. Hopefully that doesn't come back to be the one that makes a difference, but Very lucky for the Eels fans, the blue and gold. They survive.
Good pressure there from Jones, standing tall, stepping up nice and quick, and that's a great defensive set. Look where the turnover comes, just inside enemy territory. As a result, they'll get their fresh troops on the field and be into Parramatta's half within 2 plays. So that's excellent work from the Hillsiders. They keep marching forward now through James Fitzhenry. Quick roll ball, and bouncing across his curl. They'll have a good 3 plays to work with here. Matter still working up to the 7-metre mark. Drops it down now. Curl. Losing the way a touch in this set, though. Now Matter looking to right the ship. Out to Mitchell it comes. That's quite a disappointing set in the end. They had such a good opportunity. Play number 1 already in opposition territory with the replacements on. You've got to throw more at your opposition than that.
Yeah, I think so. Probably a missed opportunity, as you mentioned. Caelan Bray, the number 6, he's got a cracking pass and just took too much to set up, didn't they? Too much probably indecision. And a bit of the momentum swinging back towards Parramatta now. So Hills will have to really focus. Plenty of chat in D and try and hold out Para. 4-all, 13 minutes to go.
So Boutros now working it forward, followed up by Ing. Plays it quickly. Ing on this left-hand side. Back to Boutros. Ing with a little wraparound here from Black, who goes from range. Oh, great dive. Beats them through the middle. And Parramatta have the lead for the first time in this final.
Right on cue. Exactly what we've been discussing. If Parramatta get the dump right on the 7 and they're able to run their play, it's really hard to stop. Hills have got to get off the line. They've got to be more active than that. And Parramatta absolutely clinical. And they're out in front.
There's a useful penalty for the Hills side as well. Spooner will restart things, and long way to go still. Just under 13 minutes, but how much does that sole loss that the Hills side had throughout the season to Parramatta come back to haunt them potentially in a mental capacity?
Yeah, well, Parramatta, lots of experience. I'm sure Hills would be aware of the loss earlier in the year, but hopefully it's not front of mind because it's grand final here today. Anything can happen.
Now Klein scoops it, shows it a couple of times. Oh, that was brilliant from Klein. Turned it outside, turned it inside, and then released back to this right-hand side. Geez, he had them bamboozled there.
Beautiful play here. Bit of a shout-out across the ditch to our Kiwi legend, Meta Graham. Meta Graham, he's the one that invented that play several years ago, and it was executed so perfectly. That'll be a good confidence boost for him. When you have a bit of a set play like that works out, you get a bit of a boost, and they've locked it back up. 5-all.
It's a lovely work from the son of NRL referee Ashley Klein. Ethan with the assist, and Baylor Mitchell getting the try. It's now Parramatta once again find a lovely pass, and then Matrix-style dive to the line, somehow dodging players, but they just got the slightest of touches on him to deny him.
Wow, what a save from Alex Mickelwraith. You know what, James? Any other winger, that's probably a try.
Now the flick pass comes out. We always know that's a last resort, so to speak, on the touch field. As Klein turns it back on the inside now. Easy meters here as a result.
Again, wow, what a game he's having.
We're starting to see the prowess of their middles with the likes of Klein and Bubb coming to the fore. There's another penalty, so looks to be more a case of a blip on the radar than a genuine momentum swing in favour of Parramatta.
I think so. For those that haven't followed this division that much, Hills have won the State Cup in Div 1. Parramatta have won this Vawdon, I think it was, last year, the year before. So there's plenty of experience out there, plenty of success on both sides. And probably at least half of the players out there would have played Premier League at one stage or another.
Here is Matter. Then for Bray, drops it on the 7. Matter, short pass. Then firing a bullet into the arms of El Kurdi, who makes it back-to-back tries for the Hills side. And they are back in front, but what a ripping ball that was.
A ripping pass and a beautiful outline from Kurdi. Rather than run a straight line or angle back in like chop in the hole, sometimes we call it, he actually drifted out. You'll see it on the replay. He drifted out with the pass. Absolute elegance. I wish we had a camera running straight down the field to see that beautiful outline from Kurdi. And the Hills are out in front.
And what a ball there from Matt Curl. That would have made Father Brad very proud. He is, of course, the coach here of Hills, alongside Phil Mickelwraith. So Two Suns fronting up here as Parramatta head over the top. That one will go forward, though. So 6-5 the score inside the final 10 minutes now. So we've had 2/3 of this match. I don't think we're any closer to figuring out who's going to win this one, though, Stanto.
No, there's just so much talent and experience. That's why I mentioned that both these teams have actually won. They've won titles, and then and the majority of them have played Premier League. So there's no shortage of skill and experience. Trouble here for Parramatta.
Here's Spooner now. Oh, big footwork from Spooner. Beat the first man in the form of Ing. Then throws a very strange pass in the end out towards Mitchell that doesn't really hit him. Had he turned back to that left-hand side, he'd already beaten the man, so there was a good 4-on-3 opportunity. Yeah, definitely the opportunity was towards the top of the screen. This is that midfield area where Parramatta have got to keep being strong, get up over halfway in 2 or 3 touches if you can. Get down there so you can set up some great attacking play. Hills have done a good job on this occasion. Well, they're claiming there was a little touch here from Alexander Nolan, who does have a long reach. I don't think he's going to fess up to it, but ultimately it will go the way of Parramatta, and there's an audible groan from the Hills box.
Yeah, I don't think they thought it was played out. I think it was definitely deflected, but whether he played at it or not is where there's a bit of maybe subjectivity about it. But Hills, this is going to be tough for him. Parramatta have the platform right on the 7 that we're talking about.
Here's Parker now, this time taking them on. On this occasion, the long reach there from Nolan actually pays dividends for Hills. Makes the touch quite easily. Phillips. Last one brought up. Phillips will take off. There's a dummy, but great tracking from Hunter Jones, who took off having made the previous touch and got him just in time.
That's superb defence from Hunter Jones. I can't give him enough accolades for that. Actually making the touch, doing his assignment, and then doubling up on Josh Phillips. I think against most teams, Josh is in the end goal there. But the Hills getting it done via the number 96 there, Hunter Jones.
Now Bub will straighten things. Quick roll ball as well. That was exceptional. Curl cuts out Bub. Now the tap on from El Kurdi. Doesn't quite find its mark. But again, they can just create something out of nothing, Hills.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. When they're knocking down that front door, and that'll be probably one of the themes throughout today. When you see these teams fast and skillful, moving the ball, going right down the middle, getting the defenders offside, that's generally when you see opportunities arise.
Parramatta now in good field position. They'll play quickly here with O'Connor. Last one brought up. Nothing really doing. They'll send it wide for Bissett, who then turns it back on the inside. Well, that was all too simple in the end. They actually overcommitted on their left-hand defensive edge, and as a result, huge gaps on the right.
Yeah, big lapse in concentration. I'm sure Coach Curl and McElwraith won't be happy with that. That ball was sitting up there for a long time. There was plenty of time, James, for the defence to get across on the inside. And in the end, Jacob, for him, you can't give someone with that speed and skill that much space, James. For him, made the try look easy.
And that ties it up. 6 apiece with 6.5 to play. Great way to start Vawdon Cup Grand Final day. Spooner. Back to Klein. Now for Charwood. Plays it quickly. Spooner, he's thought about releasing the valve. Instead, held on to it. Spooner once again, this time assessing the options. That one's gone well for, though. Good tracking, though, from Bissett. Well, the initial indiscretion, though, was offside, so they'll get away with that one, Hills.
Yeah, that was a great call. Actually, when he was throwing the ball, I was thinking in my mind, that little voice as a former player says, I was thinking, winger's offside here. But a great call by Sanderson. And Hills, they've got to take advantage of this at 6-all. A golden opportunity to hit the lead in this grand final.
Klein again, trying to thread the needle there for Spooner. And that's great honesty there. In the end from Ryan Bueno, who says, no Bueno, I didn't get the touch. And through they go. And you might be able to see it here on the replay, just throwing the arms. There it is, saying there's no way I didn't get him. Spooner goes in.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit of a theme throughout this game, and I wonder if it's going to continue on finals day where there's no real players getting overly beat. Like the D's quite good at, sort of flexing and helping each other out, and it's normally just a little miss here, a little quick dive that actually makes a difference. So really, really good D overall.
So disjointed set, but part of the reason it was disjointed was because Hills were up too quickly. That prevented any flow from being established here by Parramatta, so they will get the penalty. Less than 5 to go now. 7-6 the score. Black has been dangerous. He's with ball in hand momentarily. Back to Phillips it goes. And then on for Sarmento. Sarmento drops it down quickly. Nothing really doing here. Parker to Black, then to Phillips. Sarmento, basketball over the top. All very lateral at the moment. We often talk, Stanto, about bending but not breaking. I don't even think they're being bent at the moment, but that is 2 penalties.
Yeah, so the third penalty could be the backbreaker for Hills. It'll be a 6-on-5 situation if they give another penalty away. They've got to get off the line.
Oh, Parker, great footwork, and then trying to twist and turn the body. They just got the touch in time. And after all that pressure, our turnover possession with no result.
Yeah, Hills have absolutely dodged a bullet because they were beat all ends up. The pass was actually forward, I think, from the ruck. It was a great call from the sideline referee, but Hills very, very lucky on that occasion. And they're going to be looking to see if they can get one more try here and take this grand final. But they're lucky to get out of that one.
Good meters now from Matter. Bray on the last, looking for an option, sends it out wide. Here's a great chance for Michael Rafe, who goes in and does enough to beat his opposite. There's that 2-try buffer they were after. 8-6 with 3.5 on the clock.
We spoke about that long ball earlier. Kalen Bray, right to left, a superb pass. And Alex McElraith running out with the ball with a superb finish. And just like that, the Hills edge closer to the title, but they're not there yet.
I think Parramatta need to score from this set. It's a great chance now. They start, of course, on halfway. They'll get a penalty as well, so they can really set up camp now. Just as much not for the score, Bob, but also the confidence. You'd love to come away with something here instead of having to go the length of the field again. So they head out to this right-hand side. Sure pass provided now. Good footwork coming in there as well. Denied on this occasion, Parramatta. O'Connor shuffles it back to the middle. Pritchard playing it down. They don't really have their big guns on at the moment, though, Parramatta. O'Connor will roll it quickly. Now they bomb it long. Mickelwraith on his bike gets there very quickly.
Oh, what a save. Doesn't he make it look easy out there, Mickelwraith? And that's second penalty again. So Hills are just hanging in there. They're giving penalties away. A couple 6 again. They're scrambling. Para have to make them pay. There's still time for Para, but I think it has to be on this set, James.
And they have certainly responded to the situation. Both Black and Wickman are out there along with Ing. So they've got those big guns on deck now. Here is Ing for Black. Plays it down quickly. Wickman threatening. Nothing really doing. Bub was up quickly to make the touch. Ing drops it down now. Last one here. Wickman. Ing now floats it long. Was it touched in flight? No, it was just an awkward release. So that will result in very little. And with less than 2 to go, that's just about it now for the Hills District.
Yeah, I think the Hills are going to come away with the champs. And I think they've got a lot of, obviously, Logan Bubb and you mentioned Curl. They had lots of strong players there, Curdy, but I think their wingers have definitely been the difference. Ryan Charwood, superb at the link position. Mitchell, McElraith out wide. Lots of stars there for Hills, and they're going to come away as champions in 2025.
Now a chance to put the icing on the cake. Off flick pass, then back to the middle. Oh, Spooner. Geez, it was building nicely. That would have been special. Mitchell was unmarked on the wing. But with 8-6, they must score this set, and then they need a miracle to try and force the drop-off.
Yeah, I think it's a miracle from here. Parramatta, of course, had a very strong season. They would have had players coming, up and down from Premier League, which might have made it a bit disjointed. The Hills have had a fairly stable team throughout the year, and I think we've seen that in the back part of this grand final. Their combinations have been a little bit better under pressure. And I think, in the end, deserved winners, the Hills team.
And of course, they were the best season the best team throughout the season, I should say. 6 wins, 2 draws, just the 1 loss. That was, of course, to Parramatta. They've righted that wrong here. Sarmento with about 25 seconds to go. They've actually had a quick look at the clock there too from Phillips. And the Hills, very cleverly, they've given away a penalty in the other end of the field. They've also played the ball to restart a set. They'll give away another one here. Parramatta will come up with a consolation try, but the time is going to run out. 5 seconds on the clock. It's going to subdue the celebrations a touch, but I'm sure they're about to explode once that siren goes. There it is. And Hills have won Division 1 of the Vawdon Cup for 2025.
Yeah, Paris had a strong season, but Hills are our champions. And definitely a couple of those players you mentioned there, I think it was, might have been Nolan, El Kurdi, Spooner, Bub. I think a few players there at Hills have sort of put the touch community on notice. They've had a really big grand final here. Big congrats to coaching staff too, Brad Curl and Phil McElraith. And of course, a great job by the referees. They opened it up and gave us a great spectacle, James.
A terrific way to start grand final day here for the Vawdon Cup at Tempe. That's game 1 of 5 done. Full time here. The Hills defeating Parramatta in the men's Division 1 grand final, 8 tries to 7.
I love touch football because of the good environment around here, especially at the Junior State Cup, supporting all the little teams and stuff.
Shaggies! We love touch football because it's fast, we get to hang out with our friends and we love our coach. We love touch because of the community, our club, and playing with my friends. I love it. 1, 2, 3, Devils! Playing with our team and we love the game and the whole atmosphere and we love.
As a coach, super rewarding having you girls for almost 4 years, coming back, watching them grow. It's awesome.
I love passing on my knowledge and giving back to the club and community.
Go Tigers! Go Devils! Go Riverside!
Touch football has given us so much, and it's time for us to give a little back. Now more than ever, we need to come together as a team. This summer, get your family, your friends, or even people you don't know together. It's time to play, laugh, and connect to your community. It's time to run, step, pass, and dive. So come and lace up your boots and get your game face on. It's time to play touch football. Touch football is back. Our sport is back. It's time for us all to come back together.
We love touch football because of the people you meet, how much fun you have, and it brings communities together, and it's a great way to meet new people and keep fit.
I love touch footy. It's inclusive and it's a game for everybody.
I just love it to improve skills and make heaps of new friends.
I enjoy touch football because I love giving back to the community.
Are you okay?
If you feel like something isn't okay with a friend
or a teammate, ask the question, are you okay? The people in your world don't always tell you there's something that's troubling them.
So it's important that you make asking, are you okay, part of your everyday conversation.
You start by saying, how are you travelling?
Listen, if they don't want to talk, just let them know that you'll be there for them when they're ready.
Check in. It could be a simple text message or a call just to say, hey, how are you?
As coaches, we also need to create a supportive environment with words of encouragement.
As a sporting community, we need to ensure everyone feels invested in the culture we are building as a group and as individuals.
As a team, we always start with a random conversation question.
Like, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Asking isn't always easy, but it could change your life. So please ask someone today, what are you waiting for? Are you okay?
Welcome back here to Tempe. About to get underway with match number 2 for grand final day of the Vawdon Cup. This is the Women's Premier Bowl, so a little bit different here as we're trying to grow a great game of touch with our Women's Premier League division. These are teams that haven't qualified for the championship playoffs, so to speak, but sides that are on the rise and now fighting for the Premier Bowl as opposed to the Premier Cup.
Yeah, I think there would have been 9 or 10 Women's Premier League teams, James, and this is they're really important stepping stone for the club to be in the top grade and get those learnings throughout the season, and then, obviously getting the chance to fight for the bowl and get some finals footy under their belt before they come into State Cup in 4 or 5 weeks' time, I think it is.
And with that said, there's still some big names here. For example, in Northern Beaches Renegades, Holly Raff will captain the side. Jazzy James, of course, has oodles of speed out wide. Elsha Parkey as well has been in terrific form, and Jasmine Berry also one to watch. So some great names there. And on the other side of the ledger, the Central Coast Dolphins. Westerman, of course, we've seen her brother floating around in Men's Premier League as well. Sarah Hyland and Farah, so should be a good one along with the likes of Evie Walkerton. So some big names across both teams. I don't think either side will be taking this one lightly.
A pretty good matchup with the coaches too there on the list there. We see Paul Farah for Central Coast and Roha Paki. She seems to be everywhere these days. State of origin in the Cook Islands, Renegades. A lot of success following Roha, a great coach.
So final drop-offs are cleared, and up next, of course, we get to see a famous name as well. Georgia Tuvey will take to the field for Manly. That's in our mixed opens division. Following that, we then move to our women's open, and we finish with arguably the big one, men's open division. That'll be Manly taking on Parramatta, two very proud Sydney clubs. But right now, we're about to get underway here for the Women's Premier Bowl. 30 minutes on the clock, and here is the siren. So Central Coast will get first use of possession. They cut it forward here through Walkerton. And then tries to hop in an acting half, but there's an error in the roll ball there from Sarah Hyland. They've only lasted a couple of plays, however. Late call from the sideline official with a foot in the ruck. And, of course, our referees here are Ryan Wake, Stephen Namovsky and Amanda Crowley, who's controlling things in the middle at the moment. Walkerton playing it. Now bouncing around on that 7. Walkerton again from range. Decent little effort there, but turned away. Good touch in the end from Holly Raff.
Yeah, pretty good call there from the referee too. They, as with we always say, our sport's a little bit different. The 3 referees will work together. It's not a main referee with 2 sideline officials. The 3 will work together, and they'll often be talking to each other, helping each other get those calls right, as they did on that occasion between Crowley and Wake.
Last one brought up here for the Northern Beaches Renegades. Off they go. But well shut down in the end. Good touch made from Erica Stoddard. A little unusual too, seeing the T-shirts here for the girls. Typically it's singlets, and I must say they're rather baggy, so that might actually hinder them a touch with an easy ability to just flick the shirt as they're running past.
It might have kept them warm for some of the Friday night games during the winter, James. But I think coming into State Cup, they might be listening in out there at the Renegades, and they might be in singlets in a few weeks' time.
At the very least, I think they need to do the old tuck, and then you really pull them down as well. Make them as tight as possible. Just give yourself that extra edge. Everything counts at this level.
Or you wouldn't feel the touch too if the shirt's a bit big or on you. That sometimes they might flick and you don't feel it. So yeah, a tighter sort of jersey generally has advantages in touch footy.
It's a good touch made there from Phoebe Joslin. Dolphins still trying to get their first points on the board here. They've had the bulk of field position so far. Drop down really quickly here. Now Trasler off the back of it, going directly at them. Won't come away with a result. Good touch made there from Layla McDougall. And it remains at 0-0.
Yeah, pretty good example there of seeing how the referees working together there. Stephen Namovsky was in really good position, had cleared that the ball was down. But I think it was Ryan Wake on that top of your screen, seeing the forward pass from the ruck. So pretty hard to get away with much these days. You've got to do everything perfect to get the try.
And here's Parkey up towards and over halfway now, but didn't play it correctly. As a result, that will be a turnover, so not square with the roll ball. Of course, yesterday we saw, I believe, a relative of hers, Amanita Parkey, playing for Tonga in the Pacific Championships in Rugby League. So a very talented family between the Parkeys and the Berrymans and the Berryman Duffs.
I think so. Yeah, I have seen the from that extended family, representing Tonga as well. I think it could be Tonga and Cook Islands is the heritage, so you'll often see those names pop up.
Oh, now taking off here, the Central Coast Dolphins nearly squeezing through. There's a bunch of finger pointing here, but ultimately the touch has been made by Jazz James. Now here is Parky once again. Little hop and a skip, taking off to this right-hand side. Good meters here from the Northern Beaches Renegades. They keep charging forward. James with a good carry. Now Giselle Burke hops in at acting half. Working overtime there, will now link up with Sergi. Ruff, back to the middle once again for Sergi. That is the turnover. So neither side really getting their flow of their sets right. They haven't been able to launch that strike dump and then a final play, either team as of yet.
Yeah, a little bit unsettled, but it happens sometimes in a grand final. Here in the stadium field, live coverage sometimes get a bit nervy, but I think both teams will settle in quite well. A lot of young players here, James. Our viewers that would have watched the Junior State Cup over the years out there at Dubbo and through to the finals might recognise some of these young girls from Renegades coming through 16s and 18s and now into the top grade.
Raft certainly is one of those names, the captain here for the Northern Beaches Renegades, as now they take off a big right foot step from Evie Walkerton. Talk about names that you are familiar with in touch football circles. And Charlie, of course, playing for the Junior Emus. Now a good touch made there from Layla Tonga. And they'll deny them once again. So we've had 5 minutes of play. I think the Dolphins have probably had the better of the chances so far, but still no tries on the board, Stanto.
Yeah, and I think that's partly from the teams just settling in, trying to get their combinations right. Sometimes they get a little bit, maybe both teams a little bit too lateral. They're probably going to go a little bit straighter to try and get defenders offside, maybe for an opportunity.
Now, Berry was a little slow to get onto the field there, and they really could have used her out there nice and quickly because they actually had a potential 2-on-1, but she actually got caught in the box, and as a result they couldn't link up out wide. That could have been a real opportunity for the Renegades. Instead, it remains here at 0-all. 5.5 gone. This one hasn't really reached any great heights as of yet. So the Dolphins head up over halfway. That's better running. Nice and straight, picking up good meterage. Now, was there a hand there on the ball as they went to play it? I thought there might have been a case for the Dolphins, but the turnover is called.
Yeah, maybe a little bit unlucky there for the Dolphins, and I think that was a good example there. Maybe a little bit too lateral going towards their box. I think they used up 3 or 4 touches going lateral. They're probably got to get a bit straighter, but their D has been quite active and good, and that's why they've got this turnover here. So let's see if they can give us the first try of the grand final here.
It's Piper Lloyd with a short pass, and now Rach Rogers taking off. Went directly out the work there of Aitken, who eventually makes the touch. Back to the 7 she goes as a result. Rogers, this right-hand side. Now a short pass provided for Trasler. Trasler trying to get away from them. Well shut down in the end. Back to the 7 she goes. Piper Lloyd. Trasler. Bouncing out to this left-hand side. Now Rogers from range. Well done. The Northern Beaches Renegades got down nice and quick. Good reaching there from McDougall.
Yeah, pretty good D, and it was a really good finish there from Rach Rogers. I think Dolphins starting to find their feet a bit. I like the last couple of times they've come down the field, really been direct running plays, diving over the line. Renegades' defence has been strong, but Dolphins getting a bit of momentum now.
And worth pointing out as well, both these sides very young players too, especially in the Northern Beaches Renegades. Now James takes off out to this left-hand side, linking up with a nice little pass here for Smith, and then Smith. Has she gone all the way through? Yes, she has. Lovely work in the end. And the Northern Beaches Renegades, after about 7 minutes of play, hit the front.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, where they've got to go a bit straighter and get the defence under pressure. And on that occasion, I always like the lead-up work, as you know, when the players working off the ball. On that occasion, it was the number 40 for Renegades, Sophie McSweeney, which done a really good couple drives in a row. Got the defence in a lot of trouble. And then Renegades with a silky finish there for the first try.
Really work there from Amelia Smith. We saw Logan Bubb do it to great effect in that previous match, just holding the ball in 2 hands and taking on the line. It was a very similar situation for Smith. So that one now hits the deck. So the Renegades still looking pretty strong defensively as well. We'll head out to this left-hand side now. Good metres on offer. Tonga will eventually play it. Now 10 shy of the halfway line. Just trying to get this subset correct. There was for mine a foot in the ruck, and yes, that is the call. So they'll get an extra set here. No getting past Stephen Domovsky.
Yeah, no, good call there. I just finished saying that I think the Dolphins have settled into this one now. So they've got another 20 minutes. They wouldn't be too fussed with that first try, I don't think. Plenty of footy left in this one. But certainly with Renegades getting the first one, it's definitely made it very interesting because I'm expecting Dolphins to bounce back.
So Westerman wrapping around now. Takes off to this left-hand side, floats a nice little pass out wide here for the run of Hayes. Hayes eventually wrapped up. McKee. Good touch made there from Smith. Bouncing around looking for an opening there is Walkerton. Back into the action once again. Walkerton will drop it down quickly. Now fast release out of the hands of Stoddard. And then attacking in a direct fashion with Stella Hall, but turned away. The Renegades looking very strong defensively.
Yeah, they're hanging in there. They've looked in trouble, I think, a little bit, but they're actually communicating well, and they're scrambling, and that's why they've kept it at 0 tries against them. They're doing really well so far.
Parkey, and then Berry. And a short pass here for McSweeney. Again, a nice little run from her. Parkey. James. And McSweeney. James will take off on the last here. Never back on side, though, was Stella Hall. Oh, eventually they're going to say the touch was made, but Hall was miles offside.
Yeah, probably a little bit lucky there for the Dolphins on that occasion. Could have easily been a play-through. Got to get back the full 7 metres without impeding the dummy half if you're the player that makes a touch. So it's pretty hard work for the defence.
Well, even if not a playthrough, though, surely the penalty. So very lucky to get away with that one, the Central Coast Dolphins. As Rogers then takes off on this left-hand side. Short pass now for Trasler, who has been busy so far. Gets it back once again. Last one brought up. They'll run directly at them. However, that should have also been a stop to the play, running directly into the play. If you engage the contact, that's going to come back against you.
Yeah, 100%. When you scoop, if you've got a player that's offside in front of you, you want to try and run on one of their shoulders or towards the gap. If you actually run into them, that'll count as you making the touch. So that's what's happened on that occasion. A little bit of feeling in this one now. I think both these teams are well and truly settled in to this grand final. So looking forward to a big 15 or 20 minutes coming up.
So 19 to go. Martin out there now for the Renegades. Takes a hit up here. Good metres, in fact, from Martin in traffic. Sergi out to this right-hand side. This is a better build-up from the Northern Beaches Renegades, who float a lovely pass over the top into the arms of Jasmine Berry, who pops off on this left-hand side. 2 tries to nil, the Northern Beaches Renegades lead.
Absolutely superb floating pass. I think a lot of our grand final teams and ball players today would love to have that in their arsenal. Just come straight to the line. It looked like a short ball for all money. And a beautiful floating pass over the top. And just like that, the Renegades are back in this one.
That was the flick of the wrist. It was a good one too. And it was Layla Tonga that provided it. So 2 tries to nil. 18 to go. A long way from home, but the Renegades certainly have settled better so far. Now Watson takes off. Oh, in fact, she's got all the way through. They were claiming the touch, the Renegades, but Watson, with that change of pace, has burnt them on the outside and gets a try.
Yeah, you'll see on the replay, just got it really quick from the ground. Went straight into the dive. The defence did not have a chance. And the referee, Namovsky, was in the perfect position. Got the right call. And the Dolphins get their first try. I thought it was going to come a little bit earlier. So they're still in this one, but down by just 2-1. Definitely this game's starting to come alive now.
At long last, the Dolphins finding a way through this very difficult to penetrate Renegades defence. About 20 metres away here. They would love to hit straight back. McSweeney. This little pass here for James. McSweeney dropping it down once again. Now quickly are the Dolphins. There's numbers on this right-hand edge. James identifies it, finds a gap, and then links up with McSweeney. Well, they've just got her in time. Asher was putting the ball on the ground.
Yeah, another good touch there from Rogers. I think it was the number 4 for Dolphins. Quality play and great defence on that occasion.
James floating the pass, which was the call from the sideline, but I'm not sure if that was the intended outcome. Simply hitting the knee of Joslin. And there is the turnover. So 2-1 the score. We've had about 14 minutes of play. Dolphins continuing to march forward. Now Trasler. Good metres from her. Picks up 10 or so. Trasler was still there in support. They just couldn't quite find the pass. It was a good idea, though, from the Dolphins. They had actually split them up through the middle.
Yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity there, but that's definitely how they need to be playing. And I'm sure Coach Farah's over there giving the tips, saying we need more of that. Nice driving right down the middle at the offside player.
Now Sergi picking up metres. Lovely delay on the pass and then linking up. This is beautiful from the Renegades. Oh, a little juggling act to keep it alive. Now floated back to the middle. Still on here for the Northern Beaches Renegades. Sergi will drop it down. Once more comes back to Raff. Raff finding a pass. Sergi then tries to put it around the outside. In the end, the Dolphins recovered brilliantly.
Yeah, good scramble there from the Dolphins. Definitely gaining in confidence. Renegades just a step ahead, but if you weren't looking at the scoreboard, you'd think it was very evenly matched. Lots of footy left in this one.
So Central Coast up towards halfway here with Bronte McKee. Now Healy. Nice and straight with her approach. Watson, who has the only try for the Central Coast so far, took off and then tried to find a late pass, but it'll hit the deck. And as a result, there's a turnover. Westerman was trying to strip that one out as she made the touch. Joslin into the action now. Good left foot step. Picks up an extra 5 or so metres, then runs directly at Watson. Delay on the pass. It's a nice one as well. However, for mine, the follow-up was a catch pass there. Or a touch pass, I should say, from Layla McDougall, and that is the turnover. So both teams guilty of these unforced errors, really.
Yeah, a few mistakes there. I was really impressed with Joslin there, the number 32 for the Renegades when she swept on. Really sort of kicked off a beautiful drive and then a nice left-handed dump as well, which is a pretty good skill to have. So good work there from Joslin.
It's the last one brought up here for the Dolphins. They'll attack on this left-hand side, walk it in, trying to draw a couple of players in and then release late for Rogers. Rogers, though, running out of real estate. There is the turnover. So 14 minutes to go. Certainly not home and hosed here, the Renegades. They have had the better of the play. They are in front on the scoreboard, but I think given the dominance they've shown, 2-1, probably quite an uncomfortable scoreline for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dolphins get one back here. And you've mentioned Walkerton a few times in the call, James. She's really impressing me, just the full skills that she's got, whether it's a dump, the pass, the defence. So she's got to stay patient. I'm sure more opportunities will come her way and give her a chance to get the Dolphins back in this one.
Well, here she is now, playing it quickly. Not a great return for Walkerton whatsoever, though. That was down near the ankles. And again, that's what we've sort of been talking about, these unforced errors, easy turnovers. Neither side really able to build any pressure, and there's a prime example of it.
Yeah, and this is where the Dolphins, I don't know, both these teams are a little bit developing, but this is where the Dolphins have really got to focus on this one, use all 6 touches, run some plays, ask some questions, be diving at the feet of the Renegades defenders, really putting them under pressure.
Just taking a look as well on the sideline here for the Northern Beaches Renegades. There's an issue for Phoebe Joslin, just clutching at a rib at the moment. Hopefully she's all right to continue. Now Walkerton takes off. Won't get the try, but will come up with the penalty.
And that's what we mean by being patient there. Good work by Walkerton. A nice quick release and into a dive. Set up your next play. Run it again here. Good chance.
Oh, Walkerton then very sharp back off the left foot, diving at the line. Sergi has done enough in the end to make the touch. A great one to deny Walkerton. Still got plays up their sleeves in this set, though. Walkerton bouncing. Rolls it back quickly. Nice little cut-out pass there, but then well read from out wide. Now shut down the play. It was an excellent read from Giselle Burke.
I think they wish they had that one again. Nice quick hands to the wing at the top of the screen. Would have had us at 2-2.
Walkerton now taking off on the last here is Hall, who links back up with Walkerton. Well, you mentioned that she's looked likely, and certainly it's come to fruition. She's been in everything, and Evie Walkerton will now go in for a try, but well set up by Stella Hall.
Great play there from the Dolphins. They ran a couple quick release plays there in the middle. Then they ran that bump and run or the rooster charging onto it. Then they ran one against the grain to the top of the screen. And you mentioned Walkerton, what a player. Worked off the ball. Great catch, great put down. It's 2-2 here in the grand final.
So 11 and a half remaining. And certainly based on what we've seen, you'd probably have to say it's probably actually been about a two-try lead in terms of gameplay. That should be favouring the Northern Beaches Renegades. But here they are having plenty of work to do. Now McDougall. Jocelyn is okay to continue. She's out there once again. Plays it quickly. Still an option here on this right-hand side. Or Tonga took off. We know she's got a nice pass in her repertoire, but couldn't release it on that occasion.
Yeah, the Renegades got the first 2 tries here, but I mentioned a couple times there, I felt like the Dolphins had the run of the game, just not on the scoreboard. And true to form, they've come back with 2 tries of their own. And pretty hard to split them now coming into the last 10 minutes.
It's a good metres here now from Healy. And then taking off right through the middle goes Hall. Oh, wonderful speed. Swerve in the step. Watson it is in the end. Hall was pushing up in support, but Watson didn't need her. She did it all herself and will pick up a second try. Here it is again on the replay. That little show. Hall was screaming for it, but Watson said, I can do it myself. Hopped up into 5th gear, and there was no stopping her. Can you believe it? The Dolphins in front.
Yeah, they come flying out of that, out of the substitution box, looping around off the shoulder, straight through the gap, and just like that for Watson. Try for the Dolphins.
She's having Watson and Walkerton. The W's been all-powerful, and those 2 W's might result in a third here. Is the win looming for the Central Coast Dolphins? Played now from McSweeney. Back to the middle they come. Renegades needing something inside the final 10 now. James takes off. Short pass there for McSweeney, but she was caught before releasing.
Again, this is going to be a good learning and a good challenge for the Renegades because they come out, you mentioned, 2-0. They probably had 2 or 3 half chances. It could have even been more. The Dolphins showed the maturity, losing on the scoreboard, but playing pretty good footy. They stayed patient. 3 consecutive tries, and just like that, they're up by 1.
Westerman sent it out wide. Last one brought up here. Westerman taking off all good speed from Westerman. Can't score herself from acting half, but Lloyd can. Unfortunately, the ball comes free, and that will be the turnover. But, geez, they could have gone out to a 2-try lead here.
Yeah, I think it was Westerman. Just had to run along the in-goal there and pass the ball to the winger towards the top of the screen. That's where the gap was. But again, that's a bit of that experience that'll come over the years. You get in the in-goal, bit of a tip there. You generally will look for the immediate option right in front of you. If there's nothing on there, you then want to cast your eyes to the winger. So a missed opportunity for Dolphins. Let's see if the Renegades can make them pay on the rebound.
A quick shout out as well to Amelia Smith there, who would have denied the try even had Lloyd grounded it successfully because she actually made the touch in time. So 3-2 it remains. Central Coast Dolphins still with the lead here. 2-1 the score previously. So the last 2 have gone the way of the Dolphins with about 8 minutes remaining. Now track back to the middle of the field. Healy's back out there once again. Very flat pass to her. In fact, it was more than flat. There is the turnover. So the Dolphins just need to complete their sets and remove these errors from their game, and they'll go a long way to winning it, but neither side can seemingly do so at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit inconsistent up and down in this one. Renegades, just looking through the lineup, very young team, James. So let's see if they can stay focused and maybe get one back. They definitely would have been underdogs coming into this one, but they've got the first 2, so they've shown that they can do it.
Last one brought up now, McDougall. Good right foot step, then catch and pass here from James. Wider still it goes. Brilliantly worked from the Northern Beaches Renegades. And Joy Frost with a whole heap of joy for that one.
Absolutely superb. They resisted the temptation to either switch or to come in towards the ball. They held their width, stayed in their lanes, through the hands. And a great finish there from Frost in the corner. And we're locked up at 3-3.
Well, here we go. These are the final minutes of this match, and we are set for a grandstand finish. Less than 7 to go, 3 tries apiece. Frost locking things up, but watch out now, Renegades. Walkerton is back out there. Here she is now with ball in hand. Walkerton threatening, turns it back on the inside. Well watched. Good touch in the end from McSweeney. Back to the 7 they go. Played quickly here from Hall. Walkerton to Hall once again. Incidental contact there from Smith. Really good read from Amelia.
We've got 5 games here on Grand Final day, James. Are they all going to be like this? Nail biters? Try for try?
I think our experience at this venue has been exactly that. It always goes down to the wire. We've got a long season, and there's typically not a lot separating those top teams come the end of the year. I believe in our men's Premier Division, for example, it's actually teams 3 and 4 that are going to be facing off, and they both won in drop-offs, for example. So we're really expecting, once again, this one to come right down to the wire. And this particular match here with less than 6 to go, still locked up at 3 apiece. And much like the previous game, I still don't think we have any clue who's going to win it.
When do you get a break? You tune in on the live stream at 2 o'clock. You're pretty much locked in to about 10 past 5. You can't move. Action everywhere. I think the last game was 1 the difference, ended up being 7-6 or 6-5. This game 3-3 with 5 minutes to go and 3 cracking matches to follow.
Look, forget about trying to cook an early dinner. You're just going to have to order something. Get pizza to the front door. Then just tell them to walk into the lounge room. You don't want to miss a moment of it. Here's Trasler. Now Lloyd. Trasler once again. Straightening nicely is Westerman. Westerman then links up there with Trasler. Good read, though, from Giselle Burke. She's made some big plays defensively. She's actually shifted all the way in from the wing there to make that touch right in the middle. Less than 5 to go. Lloyd plays it quickly. Trasler, Westerman, back to Trasler. Oh, it was there for the taking, but it quite literally slips from her grasp.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times there, James, Central Coast, just through the hands, and the try was out wide on that occasion, just in that lead up to towards the bottom of your screen. Actually, through the hands would have been an easy try in the corner. So a couple lost opportunities for the Dolphins, and the Renegades hanging in there now, and the game's in the balance.
Now James, good meters from her, and keeps it alive to McDougall, who gets a very fast play the ball as well. Taking off now is James, or diving effort coming in there from Westerman. Did she get her? Yes, she did. That was an important touch, probably the touch of the match.
And it's a really good tip there for those watching. If you watch what Westerman did there, when she was chasing the dummy half, she didn't touch her inside the 7. She stayed patient and calm, didn't get flustered, chased the dummy half, let her run the full 7 metres, and then made the touch. So a very clever play there from Westerman, showing how it's done.
And Watson's out there again, though, for the Dolphins. She's torn them to shreds on a number of occasions. Here she goes again. That pass is going to be forward and also hitting the deck. So 3:40 on the clock, 3 tries apiece. A young Renegades team here, certainly batting above their average, making the Dolphins work for this victory. So now James again. McDougall. Smith. On for Tonga. Burke is out wide and finds plenty of metres, in fact. That's excellent work from both Tonga and Burke. Now Martin. Straightening up Giselle Burke once again. Then linking here with Aitken. All of a sudden there's extra space here. The Dolphins looking a little flat defensively. Still heading out to this left-hand side. Had they continued, it would have been a 3-on-2. McSweeney now hops in and acting half. Back to McSweeney. Oh, hang on. Has she dropped it in trying to put it down? I think she has. Oh, my goodness. It's one of the all-time bomb tries. Here it is again on the replay. McSweeney, they've done all the hard work. Keep a close eye. Just a little bobble. Oh, there it comes out right at the end. Well, I don't know for our viewers who like to follow a little bit of rugby league, but about 10, 15 years ago, Glenn Fisiahi, that's who comes to mind. Having run 100 metres, all he had to do was put it down, dropped it half a centimetre from the ground.
Yeah, I'm cringing watching that one. A little bit unfortunate. Probably, I think that's where the fatigue sets in. She probably had more time than what she thought, and that would have been a nice one just to fall over the line, or maybe a bit of a nice little dive there. But a little bit of fatigue setting in, a missed opportunity. Dolphins get a life. Dolphins get a life here in the grand final.
Well, I believe when we're teaching fundamentals of touch, we're always saying, unless you need to, and in fact, 2 players have put their foot on the sideline here, including Burke. So, geez, we've seen some cardinal sins in the past minute, but it's one of those things. When you don't need to put the ball down with one hand, go with the 2.
Yeah, like I said, a bit of fatigue there. McSweeney's had a great game. And just on that occasion, probably a little bit of fatigue setting in.
Walkerton getting away with one there. Wasn't a great ball, but she was running at offside players. Here it is again on the replay. Walkerton certainly thought that play had come to a close, and that was the turnover, but gets the call. And now with less than 90 seconds to go, this could be a crucial set. Diving straight through the middle, but Holly Raff, the captain, was there for the Northern Beaches Renegades. Wouldn't they love to have both Walkerton and Watson on at the same time here, the Dolphins, to close things out? Walkerton denied on this occasion. I'd almost be getting her to sprint on straight away. Last one brought up now, though. Walkerton, short pass, gets it back on this right-hand side. Catch and pass, they score. They do exactly that. Walkerton knew what she was doing. Well, the Renegades were playing checkers, but Walkerton, she was playing chess, and that might well be checkmate.
That should surely be the grand final. Against the run of play, you'll see on the replay, it looked like they're coming towards the bottom of your screen, but the numbers were to the top. And how about the number 66, Walkerton? Has had an absolute superb game. Write that name down. What a game, the number 66 for the Dolphins.
Not done just yet, though. 20 seconds on the clock. They'll get one right of reply here, the Renegades. Tonga works it forward. McSweeney is out there. Geez, I'm sure she'll be thinking about that one if it turns out to be costly. Here they go again, a chance for redemption. Tonga squeezes through, looking for support. Can she find it? She's waited an age in the in goal. There's Parky on the spot. Again, the ball hits the deck. Oh, they're going to say touch pass, in fact, on Tonga. Oh, goodness me. Well, it's a cruel game sometimes. McSweeney, as you mentioned, had a terrific game, but it's going to prove to be very costly that no try with the ball being dropped over the line. 4-3. What a thrilling finish. The Dolphins claim it.
Yeah, strong season for both teams. I think the Renegades won't be too displeased overall. Both these young teams put on a great show. They both showed a lot of maturity in the second half of that grand final once they settled in. So they'll both gain a lot for it. And a big congrats for the Dolphins. Down by 2. It's not easy to come back from that in a grand final, but they have delivered here on the big stage.
That means they are the Women's Prem Bowl champions for 2025 here in the Vawdon Cup. And, of course, player of the match as voted by our Bar TV viewers, Evie Walkerton. There she is, number 66 on screen. A terrific game from Evie. Set up a number of tries and also scored one herself. Full-time here in the Women's Prem Bowl. 4-3, the Dolphins winning in a thriller. Up next across New South Wales Touch Football YouTube and Bar TV. It's our mixed opens division as Manly take on Penrith.
I started refereeing in high school because I was a player and I wanted to learn more about the game and understand the rules better to become a better player and earn some pocket money on the side, but I ended up falling in love with refereeing and I haven't played since.
I became a referee. My son was playing and I wanted to give back to the sport, and now my youngest son's refereeing. We're both having a great time. And if someone had told me how much fun I was going to have, I would have got into it far earlier.
I got into refereeing because my dad was a high profile referee and I always knew that I wanted to follow in his footsteps, and now I get to referee with my family.
I became a referee as I started playing the game. I wasn't really good at the game. I wanted to still stay involved in it. And I thought, give refereeing a go. I started enjoying it. I started challenging at the top end, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
I love touch football because of the good environment around here, especially at the Junior State Cup, supporting all the little teams and stuff.
We love touch football because it's fast. We get to hang out with our friends and we love our coach. We love touch because of the community, our club, and playing with my friends. I love it. 1, 2, 3, Devils! Playing with our team, and we love the game and the whole atmosphere and we love
As a coach, super rewarding having you girls hold my sport years, coming back, watching them grow. It's awesome.
I love passing on my knowledge and giving back to the club and community.
Go Tigers! Go Devils! Go Riverside!
Welcome back to Tempe. Grand final day for the Vawdon Cup for 2025. This is now our mixed opens division. Two big name teams here. Manly up against Penrith. Speaking of big names as well, Georgia Tuvey appearing here. For, of course, Manly, Daniel Chitty will captain the Manly side. Aisha White, another player to watch. Matthew Swain in there too. And for Penrith, well, Dallas Patterson. The Wakeleys, we certainly know they can do some great things. I believe they were actually playing for Wollongong not too long ago in the country championships, maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah, Manu's a bit of a journeyman, but he's been one of the great mixed players in all time of our game. For those that are across it, and you don't see this every day, isn't it? Good. You can't do this in most sports, I don't think. We've got Manu and Kirsty and their little one, Shay. I hope I'm saying that right. We've got the whole Wakeley crew, mum, dad and daughter in the same team in the grand final. You don't see that every day. Best of luck to the Wakeleys.
Should be terrific. And we do have, of course, 30 minutes on the clock. So it is a try and then they'll change ends once one is scored. And so Eloise Hammer now distributing here for Thomas Watkins. Watkins again. Catch and pass and then back out to this left-hand side for Daniel Chitty, the captain. Chitty once again linking up here with Hammer. Chitty floating it over the top. It was a long pass, but had he hit the link, there was a massive gap that had opened up. In fairness, though, well watched out wide from Penrith.
Yeah, pretty good start there from Eloise Hammer. When the female player in mixed gets right in the middle there, setting up the play, it really opens up the D, puts them under a lot of pressure. So I'm sure Penrith will be having to watch that. The number 8 for Manly, Eloise, with some great lead-up work.
Short pass now provided for Penrith. Take the meters on offer. There is Manu Wakeley. Wakeley, oh, good footwork once again from Wakeley. Splits them and then stops on a dime, pops a pass. I'll give it to him. It was so nice to watch. I'll say the touch is completed, but, geez, he dances like Fred Astaire.
Manu Wakeley, how about that? How about the footwork? I think he wound the clock back 10, 20 years. Wakeley showing some great footwork. Absolutely superb. I was going to say old fella, but not with footwork like that. That was sharp. Great work, Manu.
One of a few grey hairs on the head, but I'll tell you what, they all went black again. Wound back the clock as now Manly take off. All good footwork themselves and then linking up. Jarvis Zockling will go in, but geez, the lead-up was phenomenal there from Zach Simmons. Have a look at it again here on the replay. So, quick roll ball, and then Simmons takes off. Bang, big left foot step. I think that is Wakeley is beaten in the end. So, just as we've given him a wrap, the ankles couldn't keep up on that occasion.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things to do in touch football. Defending your whole set, running backwards 40 or 50 metres on the trot, and then having someone put a play right on the back of their drive. Difficult to stop, and Manly, a great start to this grand final.
Of course, Manu also acting as the coach here, so gets a differing perspective now. A long floating pass from Penrith. They hit right back. Right on the mark is Kiana Webster, so one try apiece, and again, that one looked too simple.
Yeah, very well executed play. You'll see that the dump was right on the 7 there. You'll probably catch it on the replay towards the top of the screen. The Manly defenders pushed up to take the immediate threat away, leaving the bottom channel open, and that was just like shelling peas, wasn't it? Easy stuff there for Penrith with a classic mixed try.
So now Thompson Sutters. Another cutout pass there, not quite finding its mark. They were looking for Claudia Lovett, but hits the deck instead. So one try apiece, and we expect this in mixed opens division. Plenty of tries on the board, plenty of opportunities as well. Now up towards halfway they go. Nice little carry here from Luke Moiroa. Then more metres on offer here. However, the forward pass is called, and as a result, Shah Wakely can't contribute on that occasion. They've gone in very late there with the Eagle Rock. They scored about 5 minutes ago.
I don't think there's any rules on playing Eagle Rock, James. I think you can bust it out at any time.
Stando, there is one rule. Do you know it?
No.
You got to drop your pants when Eagle Rock comes on.
Oh,
that's an actual rule. That's an Aussie thing. If you get it on at a wedding, mate, it's all over. So here is Manly now. I don't know if you're just hearing me that you haven't heard that before. That's a real thing.
I haven't heard that. I'm just saying I don't mind them playing music for our talented stars out there at any time. And there's been some pretty good footy here. I like seeing mixed, probably more so than the other divisions. You have sorry for using that, no pun intended with the mix, but I mean you have older players, younger, male, female, experienced, some of the juniors coming through. It's a really good hybrid game and makes it entertaining. Here we've got Kirsty Wakely with the drive. We saw her daughter Shay. Here's the husband Manu. It's a really good family feel about this matchup. You mentioned on the other side we've got the Chitties. I think it's Coach Steve Chitty, Daniel Chitty, the captain. Definitely a lot of storylines and interest piece in this grand final.
Not to mention as well, we've got Benson and Max Simmons. I actually think that's coming from one of the fans out there. So they've brought their own Bluetooth setup. That's not coming through the ground speakers. Jeez, it's quality, whatever it is. Very clear sound. So now Manly once again on the attack here. Max Simmons floats it back to the middle here for Zach. Now Zockling, who got the first try. Drops it down. Here again is Zockling. Turns it back on the inside for Simmons. Quick play the ball. Zockling floating wide. Oh, beautifully kept alive. Back it comes now for Simmons once again. Last play brought up here. Simmons to Simmons. Oh, in the end, a strong grab there from Josh Sims, and well, that was more of a tackle than a touch.
Yeah, we often talk about the female link player in the mixed and the wingers being the difference. How about Wakely on that occasion? She's at least saved 2 or 3 tries in this one, as well as driving well. She's had a great start to this grand final. The number 13, Shay Wakely for the Panthers.
A quick roll ball. I believe that might be Toby Krusik there in 91. Now, we had him named in 94, but there could be a late change. So I think this is Krusik now, taking off on this right-hand side. And eventually it wrapped up there by Manly. So it still seems like they're feeling each other out, these two sides. I know we've had a try for each, but no real flow about things as of yet.
Yeah, the rhythm that we're looking for is that, driving down the field, getting your substitutions on and off, running the play on the back of the set like we saw Manly do earlier for their first try. That's that rhythm and the combination we're looking for.
Great one-handed scoop. Now a chance on this right-hand side, but standing tall defensively. Penrith make the touch, and that is the turnover. So remains one try apiece as Wakely sends it out wide. Taken in there by his daughter. As you mentioned, you don't get to say that too many times. Shah was on the spot. Now Manu works it forward and off the back of it. Kirsty is out there too in number 3.
If I was Manu, I wouldn't want to be dropping the ball. Imagine your daughter saying, "Catch it, Dad, catch it." Why are you dropping the ball, Dad?
Certainly would be an interesting conversation at the dinner table, depending on how our results go here.
I've noticed as well, I'm not sure if you can see the Penrith substitution box, but it looks like I think there's only one female replacement. So for 3 positions, that hope that doesn't come back to bite them come late in this game, because they're going to be using a lot of petrol if there's only 4 female players for 3 positions.
Oh, now Chitty finding a pass, but the touch had already been completed there by Josh Sims, who's been really impressive so far. Very athletic build. Does have a lot of speed about his work too. So one try apiece it remains. Also getting rather warm here at Tempe. The cicadas have now come out. I think we're pushing up towards the high 20s.
And that's why I was a bit concerned about the lack of female substitutions on the Panthers. They're going to have to slow down the game late and sort of steady it up, or they're going to run out of gas, because Manly full of running here.
Swain plays it quickly. Great read there from Kirsty Wakely. It was a 3-on-1 situation, and she got out of the line very quickly. Now there's an audacious flick pass. Now that gone directly into someone, it might have barreled them over the sideline. It was thrown with such vigour. Now Watkins crabbing across to this right-hand side of the field. Again, heavy contact. Last one brought up, long floating pass. Oh, it was into the arms, but unfortunately, Zeknik can't bring it in. And that will be the turnover. It was a great opportunity. You can see here again on the replay. It had beaten Webster, but it remains at 1 try apiece. We've had 8.5 minutes of play.
Yeah, it's been very interesting, the mixed division, trying to get a read on it. Whenever I'd look up the results mid-year, there'd be big score lines, teams blowing out 6-7 try leads and things like that. It's been a bit of a total, up and down, very hard to get a read on the mixed division. But ultimately, Manly, I think for the most part, have been consistent throughout the year. Definitely would be coming in favourites in this one. And Penrith, you can't write them off with the experience of Wakely and some of that class you mentioned out wide as well.
So Manly getting possession in good territory once again here. Quick roll ball and off the back of it, Simmons looking for a direct option. Turned away on this occasion. Great touch there from Shekinah Edwards. Oh, floated deep here for Zockling. He's looking at more of a ball-playing role at the moment. Simmons will wrap around. Simmons then finding a pass. What a ball it was. All they'll say it was forward. Webster was beaten by the ball, but the referees were onto it very quickly.
Penrith hanging in there. I'm really impressed with them. I'm just a bit concerned about how much petrol in the tank. We're only 10 minutes in. You'll see errors like that creeping in. I just don't think they've got enough subs there. They're getting tired. Manly are doing a great job of playing a real up-tempo game. But we're not seeing it on the scoreboard just yet. We're locked up at 1-1.
Good read once again here from Shah Wakely. Jamming in from the wing to shut things down. Simmons is caught. Now Zockling crabbing across field. Oh, and then just staying with that high line, Penrith, and putting Manly under pressure. They'll turn it over. So both teams guilty of turnovers without really firing any shots in their sets over the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, Manly's got a bit of a reset here. I think they probably thought it'd be a bit more one-way traffic, or they'd be a bit more dominant than what they are. They've got to settle in. We're only 10 minutes into this grand final. They don't have to win it in the first 10. So if I'm in the Manly box, I definitely would be just trying to sell it down a little bit. And we've got to drive and play a real up-tempo game against the Panthers.
Last one brought up now for Penrith. Through they go, looking for support. Oh, it was there for Wakely, who had fingertips to it but just couldn't get it under control. Ball hits the deck, and it remains at 1 try apiece. And we've had more than 10 minutes now, so quite unusual. Typically, we expect it to be probably the most high-scoring of any contest, the Mixed Opens division.
Yeah, there's been a few errors creeping in. There's also been Penrith scrambling, just somehow saving the tries, last-minute desperation. They're in trouble here again. Let's see if they can get out of this one.
Sata trying to link up once again. Played at there by Penrith. As a result, that will be an extra set here for Manly. Moiroa warming up on the sideline, so he's set to re-enter the action in just a moment. Sutter's bouncing off the right foot, trying to squeeze in between Scigliatano and another defender out wide. Back to the 7 they go once again here. Sutters.
Yeah, Manly probably just a bit more patience. I do think they look sharp and they've got plenty of tries in, and this game could easily blow out if Manly can get a bit of a run of the ball, but just a few mistakes here and there. Great call. We haven't really mentioned the three men in the middle there. Daniel Kustik, Mason Colwell, and Hayden Japowski. Did I get that right? They've had a really good game, which is always good when you don't notice the referee's calls. They're opening up the game, doing a great job. I think it was Kustik with a really good call on that occasion. So 1-1, we're all locked up. As always, James, I'm going to hit you up for a winner. You got a winner?
Not at this stage, Stanto. There's now a good chance here for Webster, who shifted one in to play in that link position. So they were doubling up there with Wakely and Webster on that left-hand side. And now Kirsty Wakely back into the action as well. So Wakely for Wakely. Manly on the attack once more. However, again, they've turned it over meekly.
Yeah, they've got to take all their opportunities, Penrith. Every half chance they get like before, they've got to turn it into a try. Because as I mentioned, I'm quite certain they're going to run out of gas. Do you want to labour the point too much, James? But with only one female substitution, I can see the players on their haunches in the sub box, and we're not even at the halfway mark yet. So Penrith have got to take their chances. They've got to be gutsy. Manly have to be patient and know they're going to have the run of the game late in the last 5 or 10, but they've got to be good enough to stay with Penrith until the momentum swings their way.
And one thing we've certainly noticed off the back of probably a little extra fatigue here for Penrith, those subsets have been very chinky at the moment. They're not smooth, they're not flowing. Manly tend to get in and out of that box a lot quicker. Penrith are typically waiting, 2, maybe 3 plays to get all the troops back on the field. So it is tough going for them.
Yeah, so to sort of break it down a little bit further, we've got 14 players of the team, 6 on the field at any one time, 3 male, 3 female. And generally in your squad of 14, you'd have 5, 6 or 7 female players. Penrith look like probably they've had a couple injuries or whatnot leading into this. They've come into this with only 4 players. So it would be an absolute... I don't even know what's the right word. I wouldn't say miracle, but it would be such a big, tall, such a tall order to somehow get the result going into the game with down on troops.
Well, so far they've got halfway through the match. Now Wakely with an extravagant pass, and then wider still it goes for Webster, who puts the foot down, comes up with a double, and can you believe it? Penrith lead 2-1. Well, that was unusual, to say the least, from Manu Wakely. Look at that pass off the haunches.
Yeah, you might not catch it on the replay, but Marnie, a little bit of magician, a little bit of David Copperfield about him. He just eyeballed the defender. The defender just somehow got like a magnet, just got drawn into Manu, and then he just flicked it out before anyone knew what was going on. I know he's quite close with Pete Walters across the ditch. I think Pete would have, there's a fair bit of Pete Walters about that pass, James.
It's like a deer stuck in the headlights there for Manly. They all just sort of watched him take the knee and then flicked it out. Perhaps they were thinking, well, hang on, he's already married. He can't propose again.
Yeah, they might have been looking at those grey hairs you were talking about, and Manu Wakely made them pay.
Oh, here we go once more. Manly, geez, that was building nicely. If they could have slipped the pass there to Hammer, it would have been game over. Manly could have had a second on the board, but incredibly, Penrith leading 2-1, despite, of course, as Stanto has mentioned, just the 4 female players here and having to work overtime with that fatigue. And now Sims, once again, so dominant with his carries. He's a big unit. Webster, Manu Wakely, here is the magician. Now a one-handed spiral pass. All the way out it goes for Scigliatano. In fact, it's Krusek out there now. Krusek takes off. He will beat the defence and gets the try. And again, some Manu magic to set it up.
They've stolen 2 tries here. Penrith against the run, against all the odds, against everything that's supposed to make sense. Penrith have stolen 2 tries on the back of Manu Wakely. They're giving him too much time. They're giving him too much time with the ball. He's got so much experience, so many smarts. You can't give him time. And Wakely, just like that, 2 tries. And Penrith, they should be down by 2. James, they're up by 2. This is a boil over here at the stadium.
The interesting thing here too, as well, is Manu's playing at his own pace. You mentioned they're giving him a lot of time and space. Well, that's because they're not stepping up when they can. Or Wakely comes up with a great try-saving touch. What an effort from the youngster. Denying the potential try there for Jeknik. Now Sutters. For Thompson Sutters. It's Charlie Sutters, Thompson Sutters wrapping around. Finds it. Oh, this time it hits the deck. So Wakely's done a great job back-to-back. The first one to make the touch. Second one to apply the pressure.
Repeat efforts. What a player. I need to get someone to tell me if it's Shah or Shea. Absolute superb play by Wakely. Certainly one to watch. Young kid coming through, but she's playing big. She's marking 2 defenders, 2 attackers on that occasion, and made it look easy. The number 13 for the Panthers, Wakely, having a superb game.
Now there is Father Manu taking off. Sleight of hand from Manu Wakely causing all sorts of issues. Patterson plays it inside the 7. Wakely with the footwork now. Then the dummy looks for support. Round the corner finds Patterson, the magician, pulling out another trick from the hat.
David Copperfield, eat your heart out. Manu Wakely has you covered today. He's got the magic wand. And every time he touches the ball, he's coming up with magic. Look at the left foot step there. He's wound the clock back at least 10, 15 years there, and he was patient, and he found the number 42 right at the end there. I think it was Patterson with a great finish. Penrith out by 3. I didn't think you'd hear me. I didn't think I'd hear myself say that today.
Oh, blink, and it's gone here for Manly. It was one try apiece only about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and Penrith were just barely hanging on. It was a relentless onslaught from Manly, but they've somehow turned the tide, and now Manly look bereft of answers. Big dummy, now they'll again try and just promote a pass that was never on. Goes wide of Chitty. Well, they are capitulating here, the team from the Northern Beaches.
I'll tell you what, lucky there's no betting in touch football. I'd have lost my house. Manly have been very dominant, such a classy team, and they can still come back here. They've got 10 minutes. But they've just got to find that form that they've had throughout the year and put it together. A little bit more patient, execute a little bit sharper. Come on, Manly, show us what you're made of.
So Zockling, Crabby and Crossfield. White has been catching a cold on this left-hand edge. I don't think she's seen the ball. Manly have been playing purely through the middle, and they haven't had any joy in doing so either. We've seen a couple of long passes last time they were up the other end of the field, trying to get around the outside of Wakely, but since she shut down those plays, they haven't looked beyond probably that link on either side of the field.
Yeah, you might have caught the back of that. Like Tuvey was running on the field for Manly, and she hadn't even got on the field, and they'd already executed the play. That's that where they've got to be a bit patient and have a bit of game awareness. The Manly, the two middles on that occasion, just got to wait for your players to get on the field, get good shape, run your play. Probably a little bit of panic setting in, maybe a little bit of scoreboard watching there from the Eagles.
The Manly chant has gone up. I'll tell you what, though, the Eagle Rock has been put back in the bag. They haven't had much to cheer about in the last 10 minutes. Sutters flicking on. Simmons out there now. Here they go again. Simmons finding a pass, or has Wakely done enough yet again? I think she has.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, she's put a body on the line. They'll have a little conference here. They might say, this time Manly come away with it. Yes, they do. We'll see it here on the replay. I thought Wakely, to the naked eye, had done enough. She gets on a bike very quickly. Oh, just squeezing in, it looks like there. Mara Grushnik.
May not have hit the line. I was about to say, wherever Wakely is, you want to go the other way because she's saving everything today. But Manly just sharp enough on that occasion. They've got within 2. There's 8 minutes to go. Surely Manly can see that the Penrith team are running out of gas. And I think just to make you annoyed, James, the Eagle Rock did kick in there in the grandstand here at Tempe, as the Manly fans can smell a comeback on the cards.
So, Gerskanek getting that try there for Manly. 4-2 the score. Penrith still in control. Oh, that was almost far too simple there. Sims simply stood still, then flung it to Scigliatano, and he nearly dived over without anyone making too much of a fuss. So 8 to go. Scigliatano back to Sims. Now Moiroa wrapping around. Moiroa at speed. Gets to ground very quickly. And Penrith have a 5th try. The margin back out to 3.
A great finish there, and it was out of nothing there. You'll see a beautiful dump there. I think it was Sims. A quick pass from the ground. A nice dummy straight into the dive. Again, no one's really beat. We've been seeing it throughout all the games so far on grand final day. The defender looks in position, but just a really sharp put down. And a beautiful finish there for the Panthers. And now they're out by 3. And now the scoreboard comes into play. Manly have really got to try and put that out of their mind and try and string 2 or 3 tries together. Penrith with all the running and a big upset on the cards.
So Manly with plenty of work to do. Chitty Up in an acting half now. Flick pass comes out. Quick release once more out to Watkins, and Watkins is swallowed up there by Patterson. Less than 7 to go. Penrith in control. 5-2 the score now. Manu's got even more time than he could have possibly fathomed. They don't want to come anywhere near him at the moment, Manly. It's like he's got COVID.
Manu, probably one of the best games I've seen him play, certainly in recent times. I know he's had a long, very successful career, but in recent times I have not seen such dominance from Manu as what we're seeing here today. And I've just had a quick look on the results, and unless someone's made a typo, Manly beat Penrith earlier this year 14-3. Just to give you an idea how come we're sort of so surprised by this performance from Penrith, who are really stepping up, showing us their best game on the big stage.
And, of course, in terms of the season in general, Manly 5 from 5, so they haven't lost a game all year. Now Simmons bring it forward, looking for Hammer. No Hammer time on this occasion. Webster jams in. Last one brought up. Simmons off the left, then taking off. Now the flick pass, change of angle, back to Hammer. There it is, Hammer time indeed. Puts a nail in. The coffin isn't closed though. Penrith are still in front. 5-3 the score. They at least narrow the margin.
It's a great run in line. You'll see that Hammer actually did the dump on the previous touch, realigned, and then came back on a 45. She put together quite a few skills there, showing how classy of a player she is, and I think the Manly fans will be saying we need more of that. Try and dump away from the female defender and come back against the grain and put pressure on the defence. Manly, superb play, just need more of it.
Well, they do have enough time. There's still 5 minutes here as Wakely once again with that one-handed fling. Oh, Krusek was trying to get away. Does have some speed. Shut down in the end by Zockley. Back to the 7. Wakely. Patterson. Now for Manu. Wakely once more. Will take the touch. Manu turning it back on the inside. Krusek was there. Manly now full of energy once again. Manu Wakely looking to set up his daughter Shah, who takes it sliding into the legs there of Jenik, and ultimately turned away. So Jenik, the Polish winger, doing enough on that occasion. Now a bit of speed here for Simmons.
Yeah, Manly changed gears here. They can smell it, James. We wanted it about 5 minutes ago, but we wanted Manly to go that extra gear once they see the fatigue kicking in. Now you're seeing it. The Penrith players hands on knees. They've got a 2-try lead. Is that enough? It looks like it's Manly versus the scoreboard, I think.
Well, how much does that one extra female player, when they would really love to have, say, another 2 or 3 on the bench, Penrith, how much does that come back to haunt them fatigue-wise in these final moments? Oh, little bobble there from Sutters. Geez, they've come up with a few errors inside that final 7, Manly.
Yeah, you wouldn't have probably caught it on the screens to our viewers at home, but Manly were actually driving against, I think it was 4 or 5 Penrith players, because the defenders hadn't got back in the line yet, but they just didn't have that game awareness to run to where the numbers were. And then an incorrect roll the ball has gifted Penrith the ball, and now coming in 3 minutes to go, you'd have to think for Manly it's now or never, James.
So 3:25 officially. So they keep marching forward here through Thompson-Sutters. Charlie in the 10, hops in at acting half. Now for Hammer. Straightening. Met there by Kirsty Wakely. Still looking for reinforcements here, Manly. Geez, they've taken a long time to get on. Chitty had nobody there in support. Now Tuvey plays it just outside the 7. Short pass here for Swain. Swain once again for Watkins. Now Tuvey drops it down. Last one here for Manly. Watkins having a look, sends it wide. They'll try and bat it on. Well, certainly they are being bent backwards, but they aren't breaking, Penrith. Holding firm. And that margin still at 2 tries. Now just 2.5 on the clock. They're only going to get probably 2 more sets here. And they're going to have to score from both of them, Manly.
Yeah, Penrith very close to pulling off the miracle. They've had a great game. I think it was, is it Shakina Edwards? Hopefully I've got that right. She's had a big game as well. We've been singing the praises of Shah Wakely throughout the game. Kirsty Wakely as well. Kiana Webster, I think it is as well. Penrith have been absolutely superb. Manly, it's now or never. They need one here, James, and then we've got the grandstand finish. Must score.
So now Simmons working forward, met there by Sims. Oh, they've turned it over again, Manly, and you can see there a couple of the players putting their heads on their hands on their head because, geez, they have just allowed so many easy let-offs here for Penrith, especially in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, too many errors, a little bit of scoreboard pressure, a little bit of panic from Manly. They've had a really good season. They haven't quite brought their best here today, but I think, to be fair, there's been a bit of Manu magic as well that's been the difference. We're coming into the last 90 seconds. Manu will know what he needs to do. He's going to play the clock, look for a 6 again. He hasn't got it, but with 70 seconds to go, I think Penrith have got a historic victory within reach here against all odds and a really good display of mixed touch and showing how the strong female athletes can really make a difference.
Sutters gets it back here, well read by Kirsty Wakely. They're still going to operate on that left-hand side. Ball goes to ground, and if it wasn't already a done deal, now it certainly is. Penrith, they're going to claim this Mixed Opens Vawdon Cup Grand Final and deliver Manly's first loss of the season. Less than 40 seconds to go. They need 2 tries. It is impossible at this point. Wakely will send it wide. It's Manu magic to gift them the victory here today. And I can confirm our viewers at home on the Bar TV app, they have indeed voted Manu Wakely as man of the match. Little surprise there.
No surprise whatsoever unless you had the stream on and you were in the kitchen. If you've watched any of this game, you'll know Manu's had one of the great games of his career. Absolutely braining opposition that would be at least, 15 years younger than him. He's had a great game. But I actually might go out on a limb. I actually think his daughter, Shah, is my MVP. I don't think he'll mind me saying that. But Penrith, big congrats. They're the champs. And very, very well deserved. A great underdog victory for the Panthers.
And it's an intergenerational victory here for Penrith. There is Father Manu. He'd be very proud, not just of his own performance, but certainly of his wife, Kirsty, and daughter, Shah. But he is our Bar TV fan-voted player of the match. Terrific performance from Manu Wakely, winding back the clock. He's, of course, had a glittering career and really turned it on here today. Had so much time and space and set up a couple of magic moments, especially that 4th try. If you got the chance to go back and have a look, certainly worth doing exactly that. Full time here in our Mixed Opens Grand Final for the 2025 Vawdon Cup. It's Penrith victorious, 5 tries to 3, handing Manly their first loss of the season. We'll take a quick break on New South Wales Touch Football and Bar TV. Up next, the Women's Open between East and Canterbury.
Touch football has given us so much, and it's time for us to give a little back. Now more than ever, we need to come together as a team. This summer, get your family, your friends, or even people you don't know together. It's time to play, laugh, and connect to your community. It's time to run, step, pass, and dive. So come and lace up your boots and get your game face on. It's time to play touch football. Touch football is back. Our sport is back. It's time for us all to come back together.
We love touch football because of the people you meet, how much fun you have, and it brings communities together, and it's a great way to meet new people and keep fit.
I love touch footy. It's inclusive and it's a game for everybody.
I just love it to improve skills and make heaps of new friends.
I enjoy touch football because I love giving back to the community.
Are you okay?
If you feel like something isn't okay with a friend
or a teammate, ask the question, are you okay? The people in your world don't always tell you there's something that's troubling them.
So it's important that you make asking, are you okay, part of your everyday conversation.
You can start by saying, how are you travelling?
Listen, if they don't want to talk, just let them know that you'll be there for them when they're ready.
Check in. It could be a simple text message or a call just to say, hey, how are you?
As coaches, we also need to create a supportive environment with words of encouragement.
As a sporting community, we need to ensure everyone feels invested in the culture we are building as a group and as individuals.
As a team, we always start with a random conversation question.
Like, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Asking isn't always easy, but it could change your life. So please ask someone today, what are you waiting for? Are you okay?
I started refereeing in high school because I was a player and I wanted to learn more about the game and understand the rules better to become a better player and earn some pocket money on the side, but I ended up falling in love with refereeing and I haven't played since.
I became a referee, my son was playing and I wanted to give back to the sport, and now my youngest son's refereeing. We're both having a great time, and if someone had told me how much fun I was going to have, I would have got into it far earlier.
I got into refereeing because my dad was a high profile referee and I always knew that I wanted to follow in his footsteps, and now I get to referee with my family.
I became a referee as I started playing the game. I wasn't really good at the game. I wanted to still stay involved in it, and I thought, give refereeing a go. I started enjoying it. I started challenging at the top end, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
I love touch football because of the good environment around here, especially at the Junior State Cup, supporting all the little teams and stuff.
We love touch football because it's fast, we get to hang out with our friends and we love our coach. We love touch because of the community, our club, and playing with my friends. I love it. 1, 2, 3, Devils! Playing with our team, and we love the game and the whole atmosphere and we love.
As a coach, super rewarding having you girls hold my 4 years, coming back, watching them grow. It's awesome.
I love passing on my knowledge and giving back to the club and community.
Go Tigers! Go Devils! Go Riverside!
Coach for the Cannibals
So the stage is set here for this Women's Open Vawdon Cup Grand Final. East taking on Canterbury, of course. East captained by Bella Slattery. On the Canterbury side, the experienced Claire Tandek. Coming into this one, East, of course, a terrific season. 8 from 8. Canterbury with just the one loss, 6 wins and 1 draw. That only loss, of course, that was against East. So certainly coming into this one, Jason Stanton, East are the red-hot favourites.
Yeah, 2 absolute powerhouses of women's touch matching up. I don't think we'd have it any other way. Canterbury being one of the top clubs in women's, I think in probably the last 20 plus years. East, probably the best 30 plus years if you look at the East team. Absolutely setting the standard. So, yes, we have got the 2 big powerhouse clubs, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Canterbury, definitely the underdogs. They won't mind that, James. And the Roosters, been red hot all year. Let's see if they can show us their best today.
And 2 very similar teams as well. A great mix of both experience and that youthful exuberance across both sides. You look at, for example, the experience of, say, Claire Tandek and Andy Law, then matched up with that great youthful energy of the likes of Sailor Perrott, for example. Logan Flanagan also been around for a few seasons now, but still we can register her as one of the younger players in this team. And on the east side of the equation, well, Bella Slattery, who's been in great form. Tynice Bowery, though, one of those real young guns who has come through and now staking a claim at this Women's Premier League division.
Yeah, definitely there'll be a lot of people looking to see what Bella Slattery comes up with. There's also Bowery as well, Squadrito. There's a lot of players there that a lot of our fans at home would be familiar with. As you always know, I'm a big fan of Claire Tandek. Can't believe she's still out there. One of our absolute greats of our women's game. Australian player for as long as I can remember. And then on that side, we've got Indy Bauer on that side as well. So there's lots of talent there too. Keely Silver is another one that pops out. But Andy Law, there's big names everywhere. This is a bit of a who's who of women's touch out there. Let's see if we can get a great grand final. And who have we got in the middle there, James, for the referees?
That's our refereeing contingent here for our Women's Open Grand Final. Emma Bleedsdale, Rebecca Rogers and Ellen McLeod. It's an all-female trio. And 2 red-hot teams here. Great to see as well Logan Flanagan returning. I believe she was actually overseas playing rugby union professionally. So she's back here in the touch setup. And, of course, long-time touch viewers will probably remember a few years ago that great length of the field, a runaway try in the State of Origin Mixed Opens division. So she's had some wonderful moments. Great to see her back for Vawdon Cup Grand Final action. And we are underway with Andy Law tapping and going for Canterbury. First use of the ball. Tandek. Now for Perrott. Quick play the ball from Perrott. Tandek, big left foot step. Comes back here for Perrott, who keeps it alive. Perrott once again. Now for Law. And certainly showing that they're happy to keep promoting that ball, recycling the footy. Now Perrott with the in and away, followed by the speed. Oh, she's very quick, Perrott, but well shut down there from Sylvester. Still got one more to see off, though, East, but an enterprising start from Canterbury. Tandek will simply kill it away from the, well, initially I was going to say the East box, but actually in the end went up towards that side of the field. But still, I like what I see from that first set there from the Dogs.
Yeah, good start for the Dogs. Interesting to see the contrast between the 2 captains, because Tandek's going to more slow it up and look to run structured plays. Slattery's just is going to be speed, footwork and class. So pretty good matchup with the 2 captains to see how that how that plays out. I've just noticed the number 3 there for the Roosters too, Halliwell Quinn. She's one of the young talented players coming through, had a strong state of origin, so it's almost like every time I look across, it's just stars everywhere, 1 through 14 in both outfits.
I believe 12 months ago you had the likes of Tyneese Bowery, Halliwell Quinn and co who were in that the Junior State Cup champions. So they've hopped up into this top division now. Speaking of which, here is Bowery. She was the real gun in that team. So now they come out here for Halliwell Quinn. Plays it quickly. Bowery. Once again, playing it with speed. Turns it back on the inside. An East strike first. What a ball that was. And it will be confirmed. So a great bit of play from Bowery. Then back to the middle. Scarpelli comes up with the try. And East really on their first foray down this end of the field come up with a try.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for the Dogs there. I think it was Winchester trying to help her other middle, probably a bit too much. Maybe over squeezed, came in a bit too tight. And the link had a lot of space to cover there. You would have seen on the top of your screen coming down. Generally, once you get over halfway, we generally think you've brought the link too far. So a bit unfortunate for the Dogs and a great start to this grand final from the Roosters.
And play quickly there from Flanagan. Flanagan finding a good pass. All had Perrott backed herself. I think she would have scored just by hitting the hole, but Shova complicated matters and in the end is picked off.
Unfortunate indecision. If she passed it straight away to the winger, it was a try. If she went herself, she was probably in, as you mentioned, James. So things like that, that's what happens in the big game, doesn't it? East had half a chance, took it. Canterbury half a chance, come up empty.
Now Sophie Davis plays it quickly. Slattery off the back of it. Oh, that was an awkward roll ball picked up from the referees. There's the turnover, but geez, frenetic pace to start this one. It's really looking good.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from the referees. A really nice 7 opening it up, and they haven't missed much. Let's hope for more of the same. We've got a great contest brewing here.
Perrott with a nice straight drive. Now Flanagan there again, all very late pass. Nearly put her teammate under all sorts of pressure. Now take the meters. Quick release now from Zali Austin, who opts in at acting half again. Straightening the attack. They come out wide now for Andy Law. Law with nowhere to go. Will turn it over, but Canterbury, they're not shying away from the contest here. East have come out all guns blazing. And the Dogs are certainly stepping up to match them. Good meters now for East. Ooh, difficult one to reel in, but Davis did a great job. Plays it just shy of the halfway line. Still carting it forward is Thomas Yu. And now Scarpelli drops it down. Bowery, watch out for her. Hops in and acting half again. There was a loose foot in the ruck from Law. And the referees picked it up. There's an extra set.
Yeah, Canterbury, a little bit of pain they're feeling now, self-inflicted. They rolled that whole set, the whole 70 metres. They didn't meet East at all. They allowed them to substitute, come charging down the field. Now they've given away a penalty. So they've put themselves under pressure here. Let's see if they can get out of it.
Oh, and then that one milked for all it was worth there. Law once again caught in the thick of it. That's now 2 penalties inside the 7, so they've got to be very careful here, the Dogs. The Scarpelli try and draw another penalty out of them. Now wait an age here for Bowery, who floats it over the top. Great pass, and they got to ground quickly. Leo is clear, and East have back-to-back tries to start this contest.
Yeah, great work there from Bowery. You'll see it on the replay. Ball in 2 hands. The defensive link and winger for the Dogs thought there could have been a dive happening, so they got a little bit too close. And just like that, a second try for the Roosters. And I think both tries, to be fair, could have been stopped. I think Canterbury a little bit hesitant, maybe given this East attack a bit too much respect. They've got to back themselves a little bit more, the Dogs, and try and match it with their more fancied rivals.
The Dogs now with Tandek, then on to Flanagan, all played out there from Squadrito. An extra set to work with now for Canterbury. They'd love to come away with something here. East have been scintillating to start this match, but I certainly think the Dogs have shown enough so far. Offside. They could trouble them. Now Flanagan runs directly at a player who she thought was offside. It was Cable.
Yeah, unlucky for the Dogs there. Could have gone either way, that one.
She's having the fans come in for this one too. They are strewn around the velodrome here. Flanagan once again floating a pass. Now was that touched in flight as well? There was a hand on it. Now I can only imagine it was a Canterbury hand. in which case it probably should have been called forward. Tandek is now caught. Short side Ray, Tandek still there. Well, for mine, they were never back on side, though. Fountas looked to be at least a metre off the try line.
Yeah, Dogs will have to be a bit patient. I think they were definitely unlucky on that set. Could have easily had a penalty or two, or even a playthrough. So they've just got to be patient. That was a good set for them. And this is what we're talking about when East are driving to their box. The Achilles heel of this Roosters team is when they drive, they sort of go a bit lateral sometimes and get to the box with a bit too much focus. So Canterbury on that occasion met them, and that's the Canterbury game plan they need to try and match the Roosters. Stop them getting their subs.
Tandek. Now Perrott gets it back once again. Perrott scheming, sending it wide. Great ball from Perrott. Excellent finish as well from Neve Bowsen. Oh, they're going to bring it back though. Well, hang on, have they now caught it? Yes, they have confirmed it at long last. So
yeah, they got it right.
The Dogs indeed will come up with a try. What a ball it was here from Sailor Perrott. Have a look again on the replay. Lovely spiral pass from left to right into the hands of Bolson, into the corner. There was a few protestations there from the east side, but ultimately confirmed, and now the Dogs get another good result here.
Yeah, and again, the Roosters, we've seen it with all three tries, which I think there's a little bit of defensive hesitancy, like defensive errors in the middle there. If you catch the replay on that try, Bella Slattery had her player easy. It was just man on, but the outside players are trying to help a bit, maybe a bit of nerves in the grand final. And we've seen that with 3 consecutive tries, James, a bit of hesitancy or over-anxiousness from the defence. They certainly haven't settled in just yet.
Flanagan, once again, looking likely here, takes off. Thought Scarpelli might have been offside. One more play coming up. Flanagan. Oh, the little draw, then taking off. Bowery got her, though. Oh, however, they're going to say offside, so they were playing somewhat of an advantage there. They'll get an extra set. Flanagan will come from the field, but it's a confusing call. If she's offside, then surely the playthrough happens.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there for the Dogs. Again with a chance.
Lovely work down a short side. There's no way they could have squeezed through there. Eventually they'll say the touch is made, but again, I'm not 100% sure on that call either.
The crowd's getting into this one. There's pressure on the players, pressure on the referees. I would have to forgive you if you say you don't quite know what's going on here. There's plenty of action.
I think you've summed it up pretty well, Stando. That last minute is just sheer chaos. So now East trying to settle into a rhythm with Fountas, who takes off. Oh, Tandek, all effort. Full stretch, dives out, gets the touch. An important one for the Dogs.
Claire Tandek winding the clock back. She's everywhere, Claire. Absolute superstar. Great defence on that occasion. Often we talk about our class players with attack. You look at someone like Bella Slattery, so much skill, so much amazing attacking flair, but the defence is what impresses me. Slattery's a great defender, and Claire Tandek showing great defence on that occasion.
Now Chung getting her first taste of the action. Works it forward, straightening and then going again here. Kept alive out of the hands of Baker. Another nice straighten up there from West. West continuing to cart it forward, gets good metres, eventually met by Fountas, who's still offside. They run directly at her. Boa looking for support. Oh, sends it back over the top, but couldn't find another Dog pushing through. That's a try gone begging. 2-1 it remains. 10 minutes gone already.
Yeah, a bit of a warning shot too there for the Roosters. They're playing well, they're up by 1, but the number 29 for Canterbury, Nola Baker. She's another superstar of our game that's been around for a long time, playing with girls probably half her age, and she showed them how it's done with a great dump, great setup work, and it had Roosters in trouble. So Canterbury starting to see a few little cracks in the armour of the champion Roosters.
Now Bella Slattery. It's been in red hot form for the best part of 2 years, leading this Roosters team. Davis plays it quickly. Watch out for Slattery. Here she comes. Delays the pass. Quick release for Thomas-Hugh. Now they come again to her. Great touch made, though, from West. Right on the line. Back to the 7. Go East. Oh, big dummy. Slattery's through. Finds Thomas-Hugh. That's brilliantly worked from the Roosters. The Chooks are crowing.
Bella Slattery. We often talk about her footwork. How about the dummy? Look at this on the replay. Like a thief in the night, straight through. We were talking about Manu Wakely being the magician in the previous game. Slattery showing how it's done here in the women's final.
Well, what a start to this game. We've had about 11 minutes of play. It has been non-stop. As you mentioned, Stander, the crowd's got right into it, and with good reason. This one is being played at a premium level. Flanagan out there again now. Geez, had they kept going again, they had a 3-on-2. They've got to look at that, the Dogs. They work it back to this side where they're well and truly man-marked. Law with a couple of steps and dummies, but geez, they've got to head to that right-hand defensive edge. There are opportunities upon opportunities.
Yeah, one of the things that, I wanted to explain for our viewers at home, when I talk about being hesitant or giving too much respect to the attack, they're sort of watching a little bit, like ball watching, waiting for something that's going to happen that isn't there. And you saw it with Slattery, where they've just given her a bit of space. They've hung off for a little bit. There wasn't much on, and then she's made them pay. So that's what I'm talking about. Settle into the grand final and just defend what's in front of you. Don't get worried about something that hasn't happened just yet. Definitely both defences have been a bit guilty of over-shutting down, over-committing, over-reading the play.
That was very messy there from the Dogs. They'll get away with it, will they? No. Here comes the late call. What will they call it, though? Is it forward pass? Not a sign, that one, but either way you look at it, it was an ugly play, the ball. So the Roosters come up with it. Speaking of ugly, that one hits the deck. This one will go against the Chooks.
Yeah, and that's that thing we spoke about earlier, James. That's the Achilles heel. I think that's the second or third time they've done that. Generally, you'll drive towards your box to substitute off, and sometimes the Roosters are a bit guilty of just going too lateral to get there quickly. And that's where there's opportunities for the defence. And if you look on the other side, one of the things that Canterbury needs to focus on, as you pointed out, there's a lot of fans throwing their hands in the air here, the Bulldogs fans. They've got to complete their sets.
Oh, Slattery, look at the change of pace there. Such an electric runner of the ball. Now Davis hitting the advantage line. Keeps it alive as well for Halliwell. Quinn pops a pass out wide. In go the Roosters once more. Halliwell Quinn, a lovely injection of speed. Links up out wide. And now that scoreboard looks a little ugly for the Dogs.
Halliwell Quinn's got a great read of the game, and you just take your eye off and she'll make you pay. Great footy IQ, Summer Halliwell Quinn. Just looked up, saw half a chance, not even half a chance, a quarter of a chance, James. Put her foot on the accelerator, a great left to right pass and finish in the corner, and the Roosters are out by 3 now.
Justine Watchman getting that try. Chung playing it quickly. They've got to get a result here, the Dogs. I think if the Roosters go out to 5-1, it'll be a little too hard to hem it back. West will come up with a drop ball, and that's not going to help the equation.
It's really a case of the half chances. Roosters, probably a couple half chances. They've turned it into a try. Canterbury haven't taken theirs. So instead of a 3-2, 3-all scoreline, we've got 4-1. Canterbury got to try and wrestle back a bit of momentum here, James.
Well, this is the way to do it. They put both Andy Law and Claire Tandek out there at the same time. Oh, that one's gone right into the noggin of Abby Bonich. That will be another set to work with here for the Dogs. Tandek straightening. Brings it up towards the 7. Pulled away from the touch. No penalty forthcoming, though. Tandek back to Law. Plays it quickly inside the 7. Now they'll get the penalty.
Yeah, smart work there from Tandek and Andy Law. This has got to be really patient. We're only halfway through this grand final. They've got to take their opportunities.
Tandek. Law, it's all a little bit in slow motion, though, from the Dogs. He's up to meet them quickly. That one a little behind the run of Indy Boa. Law off the Tandek, and then look at the read from out wide there from Abby Bonich. Andy Law now has an opportunity. One of the Chooks hit the deck, and she took all the space that was offered. Nice left foot step, back through the middle. And they reduced that margin. Clever work from Law.
Yeah, showing them how it's done. And I'm sure there we've got Peter Forrester there in the coaching box. That wouldn't have gone unnoticed by himself or Louise Winchester. She's another great at the game as well. They've sort of dumped off centre and gone the other way rather than having a middle set up midfield. They're actually just doing that set up off centre. I think that's where their opportunities, their chances are to get back in this one.
Cable Thomasu at full pelt, staying alive in the play, then trying to squeeze through a couple of defenders. Baker was there. Oh, but they're going to say Tallulah Kirk mustn't have been on side. So looks like she got the initial touch, and then coming late in the piece was Baker. Let's have another look here on the replay. So Thomasu brings it forward. Let's take a look at Kirk back on the inside here. She definitely got a touch, but I'm not sure she ever actually hit the line in time. I can only imagine that's why.
I think that was definitely a 50-50. Canterbury would think themselves a little bit unlucky. If she hadn't hit the line, she wouldn't have hit it. She wouldn't have been off by a march. And it looked like on the replay the touch was made. So it was a close one. She might have been called off, as you said, James. The referees have been on a great job so far, so we'll back them in on that one. The Dogs have to find something soon.
Oh, now Law finds a good pass. Sailor Perrott, catch and pass. Wider still it goes. Great recovery from Summer Halliwell-Quinn, who's just rapid out on that left edge. Tandek straightening, trying to conjure up something, but there's such a unified defensive outfit, the Roosters.
Yeah, early in the game, these Roosters were in front, but just sort of going through the motions a little bit, just getting their job done. And it seems like the last 5 minutes or so, Slattery and Halliwell-Quinn have really gone another level. And Bowery as well. They've gone another gear, and Canterbury haven't been able to match them as yet.
Bowery now on the last will come up with an extra set for East, just to really turn the screws now against Canterbury. Bowery again, great footwork. So light on her feet. Looking for the penalty, and will get it. So there's one inside the 7. Shows great patience given how young she is, Tyneese Bowery. An option on this left-hand side. Dummy, then trying to squeeze. Law shut it down quickly. Just everywhere you look across the park, though, the Roosters have threats. Bowery drops it down. That was an awkward roll ball. Geez, I think they're lucky to get away with that one. I say offside, but I wasn't so convinced, and that was a very poor roll ball. But that is now 2 penalties inside the 7. Got to be careful here, the Dogs. Bowery was waiting for it. Instead, it goes wide. What a ball that is. A ripping pass. I think it might have been Harborn in the end that threw it. They all sort of stopped, though, the Dogs. They thought the play had come to a conclusion, but you got to play to the whistle, and that's exactly what the Chooks have done. Here it is again. It is Harborn.
It's the same thing, just given way too much time to the play with the ball. I think it's going to be one of the takeaways. If the Dogs don't get back in this one, I'm sure it'll be one of their learnings. Just hesitant, giving too much time with the ball. Even when Harborn pulled out of it, it was still just 3-on-3. But the Lincoln winger were coming in trying to help. They've got to trust each other a little bit more. Like I said, given just too much time, a bit too much respect to the opposition. So that'll be their takeaway, I think, from this. But all credit to the Roosters. They've taken every half chance they've had, whether it be Halliwell-Quinn, whether it be Harborn, whether it be Slattery, Bowery. Half a chance, try.
And the Dogs looking to turn this half chance into points, but can't do so here. So, of course, coming into this one, just the one loss for Canterbury. That was against East, who are perfect. 8 from 8. A full 32 points in the regular season. Fountas works it forward. It's a bit of a mountain to climb with only 10 minutes remaining as well. They have to be next to score, the Dogs. 6-2 in favour of East. Slattery once again. Out of acting half, threatening once more. Was Law ever back on side? Well, there's another questionable decision. I think in general the referees have done a good job, but it's these offsides, I think that's where there's a little bit of a lapse.
Yeah, one thing that the Roosters have done well, Bella did a good job there, not getting too flustered. Ran at the offside player, looked to get the call, didn't get the call, no fuss. Get back in defence and then doing her job as well. So Roosters definitely have been a lot more calm and a lot more settled in this grand final so far. Great work by Coach Hayes.
Oh, lovely play. Back to Tandek it goes. Over the top for Baker, who comes up with something special. Oh, no, they're going to bring it back. Oh, well, there's boos going out across the ground here. And I think a lot of them are coming from neutral fans. Here it is again. It looks brilliant. Quick release back from Winchester. Out for Tandek and then Baker to finish. It's one of those tries that even if it's a 50-50, surely you veer on the side of just awarding it because it looks so good.
I'm not too sure what the call was. I probably need to replay myself. There must have been something in the lead-up because the extension of the try was absolutely superb. So there might have been something in the play of the ball or something that happened before it, because certainly Claire Tandek off her hip, a pop around the back, that was all clean. A try to Baker, so all we can think of might have been something in the lead-up that the referees caught. But again, the Dogs showing, James, that they can get it done.
Now
Look at this, another chance.
Squeezes through, finds a great ball. Geez, that's clever from Sailor Perrott. It's the second one she's set up. Well, they probably should have had a try in the previous set, but they'll get one now. 6-3, they're still alive here, the Dogs.
Yeah, and you'll see the same thing again. We've got to dump them. We've got it going against the grain, the opposite way. It's what's been working for Canterbury. I'm a little bit puzzled why we haven't seen more of it. When they dump on one side, James, they make the defence over-squeeze that way, and they go the other way, the opposite way to the flow of the pass. That's when the Roosters have been in trouble. We just haven't seen enough of it from the Dogs.
Sylvester now for Fountas. Back on the inside. Thomas Yu. Caught there by Chung. Thomas Yu waiting for that opportunity. Another awkward roll ball. This one let go. Fountas turned it back to Thomas Yu, and that's some good resilience there from the Dogs. They have been under siege inside their own 7, but they turned away the Roosters on that occasion.
Yeah, it's only been those little half chances that have gone the way of the Roosters. That's been the difference. That's why their maturity and their rhythm, the game plan has been so impressive on the Rooster side of the ledger.
Now Andy Law, good meters. They'll take off again. All offside here. The Roosters just got back in time. Again, that was a very close run thing. Thomas Yu waited and waited, and I think she just put her foot back in time to make that touch. Here it is again on the replay. Yeah, that looks about right there for Thomas Yu. I think she's just got back, but a little unlucky again for the Dogs. They really haven't had the benefit of the doubt with a lot of these calls.
Yeah, a few close ones, but that's where you've got to keep asking the questions. Roosters have done a better job than that.
Now Slattery, big right foot step, trying to turn a pass very late in the piece. There was fingertips to it, but I think it was incidental contact. That's what the referees are calling.
Yeah, Lincoln Winger had to stay out. Sorry, James. Lincoln Winger had to stay out there. When Slattery's taken off and she's got her defender in trouble, you've got to hold your channel. Stay nice and wide, give her a chance to go into a 3-on-2 or get in the in goal. So, bit of a slip up on that occasion from the Roosters, but they're still up by 3. And definitely enjoying a great grand final here in Tempe Stadium.
It certainly has been played at a great tempo and with plenty of skill as Tandek sends it across field. Was she already caught, though, is the question. Late delay, back for Tandek. Here's a chance. Oh, the old legs have certainly got a little bit of speed still in them. Tandek with a bit of magic to set it up and then somehow found another gear for the finish.
Claire Tandek, if that's not the try of the year, show me a better one, Preston. Out of nothing, was on halfway. Last touch. Tandek just threw it. It was a hope and a prayer. She doubled around the outside and run 40 metres. A clean pair of heels. Claire Tandek, the magician.
We saw some Manu magic in the mixed opens, but this time it's terrific Tandek. 6-4 the score, 5.5 to go, and the Dogs coming home with a wet sail. Now a chance. Oh, Bowrey, she just couldn't help herself there. Throws the pass, hits the deck. Well, they're starting to panic a little bit here, Reece.
Yeah, we'll see Canterbury, the momentum swings. It happens in every grand final. We've seen it throughout today. Tuning to the men's, you'll see it again in the next game. It goes, momentum swings both ways. And I think you'll see the momentum here with Canterbury. And this is why the Dogs fans probably a little bit frustrated that they didn't click into gear a bit earlier. Because at the moment, they're full of running, the Doggies.
I'll tell you what, this is just about the most noise I've heard for a grand final in the Vawdon Cup. The crowd's really into this one. And there's a great run from Flanagan to get them an extra set as well. So now Baker and Law working together. Law scoops it up. Perrott still an option. They'll send it out wide. Now back towards Perrott, who floats it once again for Nola Baker. Great footwork. Stays alive in the play. Catch and pass. Wider still it goes. The Dogs in again. Oh, yes, it's Keely Silver. But it's not Silver. She's come up with gold.
Keely Silver in the corner. I think she was channeling a bit of her dad, the Canterbury great Rod Silver. In the corner. What a finish. The Dogs turning half opportunities into tries now. This is what East did earlier. And the Doggies have said, whatever you can do, We can do it as well. They're back within one.
I'll tell you what, having another look at that replay, good thing there's no bunker. Silver will get the try, but I think they deserve one here, the Dogs. They haven't had the rub of the green. So 6-5 the score. Grandstand finish as you ordered. It's arrived. Here's Slattery losing her foot and then backpedaling into the turf. Halliwell Quinn. Slattery now takes off. Look at the change of speed. Slattery burns them. Or Tander. Did she get there in time? No, she didn't. Slattery said, "Eat my dust," and took off. 7-5 the score.
Bella Slattery was captain on that occasion. And this is the opposite of what I said earlier, where I thought the Canterbury defenders were a little bit passive and holding back. This is the opposite. You got Bella Slattery with a lot of space. That's when you got to get in and help each other. So Canterbury, bit of a missed opportunity there. The Roosters out by 2, and they're within the finish line. They can see the finish line now, James. The Roosters almost there. Could they be champions in 25?
Well, one try will do it, you'd imagine, for the Roosters. If they can push this margin to 3, I think they'll run out of time here, the Dogs. But we've seen enough in the past 5 minutes to suggest they can certainly find some chinks in this East armour. Fountas works it forward. Into enemy territory they go. Quick roll ball. Tough one to take for Halliwell Quinn, who now takes off, has plenty of speed. Scarpelli once again. Now for Bowery. Up to the 7. Big left foot. A jinking run. Slowing things down. Bouncing. Waiting for the chance to strike. Bowery once again. Oh, footwork from Bowery. Back on the inside. She dances and comes up trumps. What a bit of movement. That was from Tyneese Bowery.
A great dump from Bowery. You probably catch on the replay. She dumped right on the 7. That means the defenders had to make the line with 2 feet. Bowery, we've been seeing that all throughout her junior career, and now we see it on the big stage. And they're definitely number 3, 5 and 6. Halliwell Quinn, Slattery and Bowery for the Roosters. Individual dominance. That's probably been the main difference between these two teams today.
Now Flanagan with 90 seconds on the clock. It's going to be a bridge too far here for the Dogs, but they'll look to finish with a bit of a plum here. Flanagan floating a pass out wide, looking for Silver once again. Oh, Silver! Nice bit of movement. Nearly did enough to get there. Good touch in the end. Last one brought up. Perrott floating a pass in hope, and that is the grand final now, well and truly. Roosters have claimed it. It's taken an almighty effort across the board. There's been so many standout contributors. Slattery, Bowery, Watchman's been excellent. Halliwell Quinn's had some big plays both sides of the ball.
Harborn, strong. Squadrito, Sylvester, very strong. Just looking through the lineup, the Roosters, undefeated champions here. Very well deserved.
Halliwell Quinn was nearly away once again. She's been a constant threat. Fountas. Halliwell Quinn again looking for work and picks up another 10 metres. Fountas with 30 seconds on the clock. Dummy. Halliwell Quinn hops in out of acting half, looking for support. Can't find it. Baker makes the touch. And they'll get one final chance to come up with a consolation try here, the Dogs. 20 seconds now, 15 seconds on the clock. Law keeps it alive back on the inside for Bowsen. High pressing line. Halliwell Quinn makes the touch. Abby Bonich also stepping up.
Yeah, Summers definitely got better as the grand final's gone on, and Roosters very well-deserved winners. I think Canterbury, they had that little patch where they definitely had the better of Roosters, but they weren't able to string together enough good minutes together. And in the end, probably that start, they were a bit late out of the blocks, the Dogs, and they never really recovered.
Well, they got it back to 6-5 late in the piece, and they were really coming for the Roosters, but they just found a little bit of extra class there, and they will celebrate big time. Our fan-voted player of the match via the Bar TV app is that woman on screen there in jersey number 3, Summer Halliwell Quinn. A great performance from her, Stanto.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was that early in the game she seemed to just be going through, getting in a rhythm, getting a feel for it, and then she went an extra gear, then another extra gear, and Canterbury could not contain. It's almost like the big 3, Halliwell Quinn, Slattery and Bowery. They were really hard to contain, and really high standard final. A lot of State of Origin players out there from both teams, and as I mentioned, Canterbury just needed to start a bit better, and they're probably a little bit guilty of staying off the ball player, giving a little bit too much respect to the opposition attack, and Roosters got it done. Big congrats to the East Roosters.
And I suppose the concerning thing for other teams trying to knock the Roosters off their perch is that those three, they're all quite young, especially Bowery and Halliwell Quinn. So we know they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for some time to come. So commiserations there from the East players to their Dogs counterparts, but a terrific result. And full time here. East making it 9 from 9. An undefeated season, and their fans in scenes of jubilation. 8-5, they take the Women's Open Vawdon Cup Grand Final. We've got one more to finish off here across New South Wales Touch Football and Bar TV. Don't go too far. It's our main event, if you will. The Men's Open. Manly take on Parramatta next.
Touch football has given us so much, and it's time for us to give a little back. Now more than ever, we need to come together as a team. This summer, get your family, your friends, or even people you don't know together. It's time to play, laugh, and connect to your community. It's time to run, step, pass, and dive. So come and lace up your boots and get your game face on. It's time to play touch football. Touch football is back. Our sport is back. It's time for us all to come back together.
We love touch football because of the people you meet, how much fun you have, and it brings communities together, and it's a great way to meet new people and keep fit.
I love touch footy. It's inclusive and it's a game for everybody.
I just love it to improve skills and make heaps of new friends.
I enjoy touch football because I love giving back to the community.
Are you okay?
If you feel like something isn't okay with a friend
Or a teammate, ask the question, are you okay? The people in your road don't always tell you there's something that's troubling them.
So it's important that you make asking, are you okay, part of your everyday conversation.
You start by saying, how are you travelling?
Listen, if they don't want to talk, just let them know that you'll be there for them when they're ready.
Check in. It could be a simple text message or a call just to say, hey, how are you?
As coaches, we also need to create a supportive environment with words of encouragement.
As a sporting community, we need to ensure everyone feels invested in the culture we are building as a group and as individuals.
As a team, we always start with a random conversation question.
Like, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Asking isn't always easy, but it could change your life. So please ask someone today, what are you waiting for? Are you okay?
I love touch football because of the good environment around here, especially at the Junior State Cup, supporting all the little teams and stuff.
We love touch football because it's fast, we get to hang out with our friends, and we love our coach. We love touch because of the community, our club, and playing with my friends. I love it. 1, 2, 3, Devils! Playing with our team, and we love the game and the whole atmosphere and we love.
As a coach, super rewarding having you girls hold my 4 years, coming back, watching them grow. It's awesome.
I love passing on my knowledge and giving back to the club and community.
Go Tigers! Go Devils! Go Riverside!
Welcome back here to the Canterbury Velodrome, our last match of Vawdon Cup Grand Final day for New South Wales touch football. Our two teams are about to come out. Manly up against Parramatta. The Eagle Rock is up and about. So too are the Manly fans. Nobody leaving early for this one. So Manly, of course, led by Alex Tripolone and Josh Turner, co-captains. And on the other side of the equation, Parramatta will be led out by Luke Osborne. But an interesting one for these two teams. Bankstown, of course, they finished the regular season in first place. They had 7 wins and 2 draws, an undefeated season before losing in the preliminary final to Manly. On the other side of the equation, the Panthers, of course, who finished second, well, they lost to Parramatta in the preliminaries. So Parramatta finishing third, Manly finishing fourth. But as you can see, such a tight affair and a very close competition. Our referees for this one, of course, Tony Calabria, Kim Skelly and Charlie Cheesley, as Manly start to make their way out. So Manly taking to the field now. Parramatta about to come out, led of course by Luke Osborne, their captain. Well, the crowd is pumped up here. A massive match to finish off. Manly up against Parramatta in the Men's Open Vawdon Cup Grand Final. It's been a big season. These two teams, not so much coming from the clouds, but perhaps they weren't expecting to be here on Grand Final day. Both of them winning against our teams that finished 1 and 2 respectively in drop-off preliminary matches. So they've already had to do it the toughest way possible. But with the quality across these two sides, we know this is set to be a cracking contest. A very good afternoon to you here at the Canterbury Velodrome. Our last match of what's been a terrific Vawdon Cup Grand Final day. James Preston alongside a legend of the sport, Jason Stanton, to take you through all the action. Some big names on both team lists here. Stanto.
It's going to be a cracker. I'm really hoping Manly can get out of the blocks. I've got Parramatta as strong favourites here. They've had a good year. They've got lots of experience in their lineup. Manly definitely the young boys, the new kids on the block. So I really hope they can get out of the blocks early in this game. Put a bit of pressure on Parramatta, give us a great contest. But really excited to be joining you, James. As I always say, the voice of touch. pleasure to be here. We've got three outstanding referees in the middle there. Charlie Cheesley, Kim Skelly, and who else we got? Tony Calabria. Did I get that right? I think they'll do a really good job here. Referees, really important that they open it up, enabling us to see these great athletes. And you mentioned big names. There's big names everywhere, isn't there? Right through both lineups.
Well, Luke Mansour, of course, for Parramatta, arguably the most informed winger in the world. Had a massive campaign last year in the Touch World Cup over in Nottingham, representing Lebanon, ultimately resulting in a bronze medal, third place finish, and that terrific semi-final up against the Cook Islands, and he really pushed Australia as well. Since that point, he's gone on to represent New South Wales and State of Origin. He's continued that terrific form, so he'll be one to watch. And on the other side of the ledger here, Tripolone, Turner captaining this Manly side. They've both shown great form. And Jake Medved, we know the Medved name so strong for Manly, no matter what division, what gender, along with Alyssa, of course, also doing great things on the women's side. So some terrific players across the board. 30 minutes on the clock and a packed house here at the Canterbury Velodrome for our Men's Premier League Grand Final for Vawdon Cup 2025. Good start here from Manly. Plenty of speed. Long pass, popping it back on the inside. On the spot is Miknovic, and they will award it straight away. Jesse Miknovic goes in.
Great start there from Manly. You'll see Masters come across the back. One of my favourite players, Max Masters. Look at this, right around the back. Parramatta come in. He gained a lot of attention. It enabled the long ball and the pop back inside. And Manly, we wanted them to start well, and they have.
Certainly have, as Liam Simbolan comes forward. Geez, they're up in the faces here, Manly. This is aggressive defence. Turner was there. And speaking of Turner, they'll turn it over here, Parramatta. So they are a little bit shell-shocked to start things.
Yeah, great put down. And I haven't got the replay here in front of me, but it was a really close one. And the referees, I think it was Skelly on that occasion, great call. In good position, got the call right. The Manly fans have gone up. It's been a while since I've seen a crowd this big for a Vawdon final. So big congrats to New South Wales Touch and the Touch community. Grandstand full. And there's fans right around the full circumference of the Velodrome.
Well, given the closeness of the competition and those preliminary finals too, both resulting in drop-offs, a little surprised to see the fans out in support. They took off very quickly here, Parramatta. Not going to be rewarded with a try, but they will maintain possession. So, in fact, no, Lake Cornell will be Manly's ball. Initially, I thought they were potentially going to give it to Parramatta here. There's a range of signals from Charlie Cheesley, but Manly will survive. So an excellent start for them inside the first 2 minutes. Hard to believe it's only been 2 minutes based on the amount of action we've seen.
It's so fast. One of the things often I'm asked, James, is, the difference in speed in Premier League. It's not so much the attack, it's the defence. The defences are active. They're flying up both sides of your screen there, left and right, as you're viewing us. You'll see that there's speed on both sides. That's the difference when we get the best players in our game here. Great D and great attack coming together.
So in the hands now of Darby Crowley. Crowley, short pass, and then floated back to the middle now for Malachi Latalevu. Latalevu, and finding Simbolan. Dropped down once again. Latalevu takes off. Oh, then sticking up the hand there was Manly. They had to make a play at it. Otherwise, that would have been right into the arms of Parramatta for a try.
Yeah, good opportunity there. Luke Osborne, the captain, had an amazing State of Origin this year. He'd be looking to replicate that here today. And you mentioned Malachi. I would have liked him even to have a couple goes at the line himself. Looks great on his feet. I'd like to see him take the first option, an early pass or an early dive. Put Manly under pressure.
Osborne, Latalevu. Picked up again from Osborne, taking off. Or Latalevu maybe just panicked a touch there. Had a bit more time than he was expecting, but they will get the penalty, Parramatta.
Yeah, good example of the referees working 3 as 1 there. You would have seen Calabria would have been calling the winger and link to be moving forward on that occasion. Communicated through to Skelly. They got the call right. These are all important things because it's given us a nice open game, showing everyone at home how fast and how much skill there is in these touch players we've got here.
So quick release again here for Matt Chatton. Dropping it down. Now a little wraparound from Osborne. Holds it up beautifully and then finds the right pass for Ryan Field. Parramatta edge one back and we are locked up.
Yeah, Manly will wish they had that one again. Osborne's brained him. Normally he's a left to right passer, but it seems like they didn't quite pick up on that. Dumping on the right side of the field, the bottom of your screen there. Luke was always going to be coming this way. Manly didn't read it. Luke, too smart. Try for the Eels.
Oh, and then lovely from Masters, who just collapses off the left foot. What about the stepping ability there? That's given Stando some shivers.
Well, I had goosebumps down the back. The grass must be scorched down there. Look at Masters flying onto it.
Oh.
Straight into the dive, sliding. You cannot stop that. Maybe if they got a long stick or an arm extension or something, but it was just so crisp and so sharp. Max Masters does it again.
A masterful display. Second try on the board here for Manly. 2-1 the score. Chatton keeps it alive. Turns it back towards that right-hand side. Wilson, though, was set upon very quickly. As a result, couldn't get the ball away, but Manly, of course, given they were up so high, there were question marks about that onside, and certainly they got the result. Now turning it back to this left-hand side for Chatton, who says anything Masters you can do, I can do just as well.
It was nice and clean, almost too easy. Manly will not like saying that. Again, it's Luke Osborne with the setup, a little trail. You got to get off the try line when you're defending, even that 2 steps. You got to hit the line and take 2 steps off. If you get caught running along the try line like Manly did on that occasion, it's a big leg up for the attack, and Parramatta locking this one up at 2-2.
Now Manly taking off to this right-hand side. Was that slap down? There's a fair bit of pointing. I think they should get the call, and they will. It's a late one. It's the right one, though.
Yeah, again, that was Kim Skelly. Good call from the sideline. So we're seeing a great contest here. Manly and Parrots, exactly what we wanted. We wanted Manly to get out strong. They have. And we've got an amazing game of touch footy here. I hope you're enjoying it here at home. 2 penalties in a row. Para got to be on best behaviour now. A 3rd penalty, James, and it'll be a 6-on-5 situation, an exclusion. Manly will be looking to test them out.
Oh, now Medved
That's down.
goes to ground very quickly. Well, that's straight from the Masters playbook. That one might be even cleaner.
Yeah, it's that splitter play, so both teams guilty of not getting off the line. You'll see on the replay, the links come through the gap, and the defenders are all on the try line or behind the line. You'll catch that on the replay if you got it at home, or scroll back if you can and you'll see it. The defenders getting caught with their heels on the line. Both teams being guilty of that, and a great splitter play from Manly. They've caught, here's a splitter back. Return serve from the Eels!
Just touched there in flight by Sam Nicholas. He had to make a play at it, otherwise we would have been locked up at 3 tries apiece once again. What a start from both teams here. Simbolan plays it quickly, now goes at them. Simbolan found a man who couldn't get back on side in time. It was Charlie Nicholas that was struggling. Great work from Liam Simbolan.
We've got 7 minutes, we've got 6 tries, and you'll probably catch this on the replay. I'll see if I can talk you through. You see the touch was made. The defender hasn't got back to the 2 feet. When he does get 2 feet on the line, he hasn't been able to take that step forward because he was late getting back. And the dive's always going to beat the defender if you're standing in the in goal. So, great work there from Parra. Splitter play again, this time Dami inside. Great touch.
There was Chatton that made it on Masters. And they'll come up with possession here, Parramatta. So that's probably the first time we've seen in about 2 or 3 minutes either side actually deny their opposition. That could be a real turning point here. As Horro works up along the sideline. Now Prince Guyan takes off towards halfway. Horro in there once again. Masters with a high pressing line. Now floating pass looking for Prince Guyan. Nearly got away from them. He's very quick, but he was shut down well there by Jesse Miknovic.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of the Prince. I'm sure the fans were. We've watched him come through the juniors. He's been a great junior player at Parra. Through the divisions, Div 2, Div 1. Now Premier League. What a player, the Prince.
Medved looking likely again. Here he is, all little juggle. Somehow stayed alive in the play, but unfortunately wasn't able to launch at the line. He was looking for that clean collection so he could get down very quickly, but turns it over there that time, Jake.
Yeah, well, we're talking about the Prince. Jake Medved would have matched up against Guyan through the juniors as well. So great to see so much young talent coming through into the Premier grades. And 2 fresh-faced teams here. with lots of juniors in the final. Another splitter, long ball, inside's on.
Horro pops a pass. Oh, great covering. Excellent touch made from Charlie Nicholas, who got there just in the nick of time. Otherwise, Liam Simbolan would have been in again.
Yeah, we've had a very attack-dominated first 5 to 10 minutes here. 3-3, we couldn't ask for a better platform. 20 minutes to go. It feels like we've already played the game, end to end.
If the players aren't exhausted after this one, we certainly will be. There's that much going on. It's Gray now works it here for Simbolan. Quick play the ball. Back to this right-hand side. Or there was a little grab there from Simbolan after he played the ball. He was frustrated by the contact he received, but he's turned over possession.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what they come back with. I was really impressed with that. It's a little bit technical, but Kim Skelly's come up with a really good call there. As he made the touch, he took an extra half step, which may not mean much in other levels, but at the Premier League level, that half step is a big advantage for the attacker. So it was a good call from Skelly, making sure no one gets away with any little tricks there. And Manly survive.
Kaya Ora Lowy worked it forward, but they've turned it over once again here, Manly. Parramatta just gradually getting their way into the contest. Manly had a great start, but the Eels have come back roaring into contention. Oh, high press here from Manly. Nearly results in a turnover. Short pass now for Chatton, who continues to deliver here for Field. Now Watkins. That was very close to a touch pass. Play on the call, though. Watkins still alive. Chatton brings it forward. Short pass now for Watkins. Finds a great pass. Hickey with a shocking ball, unfortunately. Never came out of the hands cleanly. And that's a try gone begging for the Eels.
Yeah, he probably had a bit more time than what he thought. Sometimes you can get a bit rushed or a bit panicky. Because the Manly defence is scrambling so well, Hickey probably felt like he had to, spit it out a little bit quicker than what he had to. But pretty good to see Parra going across, working off the baller. You mentioned Luke Mansell earlier, James, on the wing play. He's actually calling a lot of plays from out wide, helping the guys inside. So really leading the way from out wide there, Luke Mansell for the Eels.
Yeah, just seen with ball in hand, but a lot of that organisational work. You're right, he's been doing a great job with that. There's now Malachi Latalevu, followed up by Crowley. Crowley taking off. They get another penalty here, Parramatta. Ball in the foot in the ruck. And now Luke Osborne back out there, so he's the one to watch out for. Crowley. Osborne still looming in support, but they're not going to use him on this occasion. Horro fending away. Into the hands once again of Latalevu. Osborne drops it down. Latalevu back to Osborne. He's a big man, but he can get to ground quickly.
Well, definitely the link's offside. He might be come back for the penalty. Definitely the link was offside. I think Charlie Choosey had the good call there, but the touch was saved from the inside. So Manly survived, but only just. Isn't Luke Osborne having a whale of a game?
Certainly is. Love to see a bit more of a one-on-one situation between him and Masters, who's out there again. Might get the chance to do exactly that. Osborne! How about that for a disguise? We talked about Manu magic before from Manu Wakely. Well, that was just as silky. There's a beautiful little trick plucked right out of the hat from Osborne.
Yeah, we wanted Malachi to be a bit more direct. Well, it doesn't get any more direct than that. Did the dump, split wide, stood still. They thought there was nothing on. You cannot take your hands off Malachi Latalevu. Superb finish. Another split play for Manly. Long ball.
Great hands.
Luke
And they're keeping alive. Miknovic is on the spot. But Mansell, as you mentioned, 4-3 it remains. Manly pressing hard, though. And they'll get the penalty. This is good news.
What a save out there from Mansell. The great Michael Fahat would say, any other winger, James, that's a try. Luke Mansell, superb for the Eels. It's keeping him in the game.
Manly, though, enjoying another set of possession. Jacob Fong out there now. Takes off Fong. Nice right foot step. Squeezes through. Needs to find a supporting man. Pops a pass over the top. Great patience. Porter Sheen's on the spot. For mine, that should be a try.
Let's see what they come up with. I felt like he was touched and got released before he caught the ball. I haven't got a replay to see it, but it's going to be close either way. Benefit would go with the defence, and and it has on this occasion. They're coming back for the grab. I felt like he might have shaken the defender before. We'll see it on the replay. There was a grab. He pushed off there. Ooh, 50, close one, either way.
Masters now, quick release. Jacob Fong, the silky smooth. The catch and pass was exemplary, and they can't take this one off Cuban Porter Sheen.
Just too sharp. These touch players are putting on an absolute show. Look at Masters there. A great dump. Instead of going for the dive, he flicked it straight on. He caught the players coming in. But some of these players, Malachi, Max Masters, just the speed. Luke Osborne. You mentioned Fong. Absolute electric football here in the stadium.
I think we're starting to see why these two sides knocked off the teams that finished the regular season 1 and 2 in the form of Bankstown and Penrith. Massive performances here from both teams in the opening 15 minutes. Now Chatton takes off again. Oh, late pass. He was looking once more for Osborne. Manly will get on with things quickly here now.
Can you believe we're only at the halfway mark, James? 8 tries. You can't split them. And you're right, they did knock off fancy teams. Bankstown undefeated coming into last week's prelim final. Penrith have been strong all year, so definitely unexpected to see the 3rd versus 4th teams here in the final.
You wouldn't know it, though. It's top-notch so far as Lowy works it forward. Jacob Fong now in an acting half. Parramatta very happy to just gradually walk up to meet them. Medved then popping a little pass. And there is the penalty in favour of Manly. And try and get some big guns back on deck as well. So 4 tries apiece. And guess who? Masters back on the field. Here he is now, along with Josh Turner. Got to keep a close eye here on Max Masters. Fong linking up with Masters. Oh, late delay. That was so pretty. Medved, no! He just had to keep going. He'd already got through the line, Jake Medved.
Oh, wow. How did they not score that? You'd have to try really hard not to score that try. Just a straight 2-on-1. Was that Finn Watkins out there? I was trying to see who it was. Did a great save. Manly did everything but score the try.
It was Watkins in field, defending on that right-hand edge. So Masters, Medved. Masters drops it down now. Out the back for Fong. Good footwork off the right, off the left, and trying to bounce over the top of Chatton, who made the touch.
Yeah, solid defence there from Chatton.
Medved once again. Now Turner scoops it. Masters, oh, lovely ball. Medved again linking up. Battered down once more from field. That's a second try saver from him.
Yeah, I think it was Field out there doing well. I think that's a second penalty. You mentioned as well top in terms of the top sort of teams, and for our viewers at home, they're probably thinking, where's Central Coast? They were in the mix as well. Didn't have the strongest of years, so Manly and Parramatta definitely not expected to be here in the final.
Now Masters trying to get on with things quickly, but they've left it behind on this occasion. So 4 tries apiece it remains, with just under 13 minutes to go. Osborne not utilised on that occasion. Now they'll link up with him. Big dummy. Tripolone makes the touch. Horro. Hickey. Now good little charge here from Crowley. Latalevu going over the top, an unnecessary pass.
Yeah, I think definitely in this game, I think his go-to is going to have to be direct. I'd like to see him just pin his ears back, maybe try and get a penalty or a playthrough. That's when he is dummy half. Ball in hand, as we saw, direct diving for the line. That's his game. I think he's better off doing that than the wider long balls for the moment anyway. 4-all, very hard to pick a winner. I thought Parramatta would be up by 2 or 3 at this point. Manly have definitely, for the most part, proven me wrong so far. Very impressive, largely on the back of Fong and Masters.
Now Parramatta in good field position. Last one brought up, though, and a static start to try and work with. They send it wide, out for Simbolan, and then looks to turn it back on the inside, and they were baying for another set, but Nicholas never really played at it. Simply happened to be in the way of the ball, and now they'll keep marching forward here through Nicholas. Up over halfway. Fong linking up now with a good run here from Mason McDonald. Medved. Dropped down there by Lowy. Medved trying to link up. Certainly that one was touched, though, by Oscar Gray. And there is an extra set on the last, too.
Yeah, very impressive. A lot of maturity there for Medved. It seemed like yesterday I was calling him in the 18s final, under 18s final. Now he's out there on the big stage. Great maturity. Really putting Parramatta in trouble. And that's Field again, is it, with a save? Ryan Field.
But again, though, probably an unnecessary pass, though. We saw it from Lata Levu for Parramatta down the other end, but that's just play number 2 on that occasion. Unnecessary from Lowy. Drop down now. Fong. Medved going at them. Big left foot step. There's 3 of them claiming the touch. Now, that is I think it's only the first penalty. They've had 2 touches in flight. So it'll be 3 straight sets now, but just the 1 penalty.
Yeah, and I'm sure the coaches, Matt Scranage will be over there. He'd be across what you're saying. If the direct plays are working like the splitter, we don't need to be going wide, do we? With the long balls and stuff, not just yet, if the direct plays are working. So there's Matt Scranage and Craig Lowe, Barry Gibson, great coaching staff at Manly, plenty of smarts. The other side of the ledger, Josh Phillips and Daniel Barton. Australian men's open rep, Daniel Barton, what a player he was.
Now Medved stepping off that left foot, Liam Simbolan out to meet him. Of course, brother Kai has been in tremendous form for the past 18 months. Now Masters taking off, played it again here from Parramatta. I don't think I've ever seen this much ball inside the 7.
Yeah, they're settled in. This is where Manly have got to be smart. I'm sure they're getting calls from the box. Got to get the Para D right up outside the 7. And then a couple direct plays, then move maybe into the sweeper of the long ball. Here's direct with a splitter. That's fine. So now what you'd look to do, maybe like a bump and run or a rooster, like a wrapping out play, or maybe a sweeper. You can see the sweeper coming around.
Well, Medved, they were up very quickly. Good read once again from Finn Watkins. Made a couple of big touches in the past 5 minutes. Back to the 7 go Manly. Medved, Turner, dropping it down. Last one now. Medved back to Masters. Watkins again stepping up. Geez, he's been immense defensively.
Yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity there for Manly because Watkins coming in hard 2 or 3 times. They've got to try and catch him doing that. Sometimes you do a middle dump, James. You dummy the quick release, go the other way. They've got to try and catch that link helping out. Manly couldn't do it, and here comes Para.
Now Osborne threatening once again. However, they'll turn over possession. Incorrect from that roll ball itself.
Yeah, I think it was forward at the ruck there. Good call there from Calabria. So 4-all, the game's definitely settled, hasn't it? Bit of a deflation, like a lot of energy, 8 tries, back to back to back. And in the last 5 or 10 minutes, it's definitely settled down a bit. And now it's going to be experience and smarts in this last 5 to see who the champions will be.
Now Miknovic on for Taora Lowy. Caught just outside the 7. Miknovic playing short for Lowy. Great ball from Miknovic. Lowy goes in. 5-4. Manly back in front.
A great finish from Manly, well deserved. You'll see we talk about being direct first. It's a quickie, but he's broken to the open side, which makes the link think it's a man-on situation. The middle didn't recover. Again, we've been seeing it. That's that direct play. That's when Manly have looked good. Either doing that quick release to the open or to the blind or the splitter coming through. That's what's hurt Parramatta, that little sequence of 3 options.
Oh, they nearly pulled them apart through the middle. Great recovery in the end. Crowley came within inches, but once more, Watkins, doesn't he look the goods out there? Here he goes again now. Finn Watkins linking up with Lata Levu. Very well watched, though, from Charlie Nicholas.
Yeah, just to back with that try again, you'll be able to catch it probably on the replay. Normally when you dump and you break to the open side or the long side and you get a quick release, that defender has to go man on with you. That's why Luke Osborne stayed wide on that occasion. Most teams are playing that policy where if you're not in the touch and they break towards you, you're man on. So Manly just were too sharp, and that was the reason why you noticed Luke not shutting down.
That was flamboyant there from Masters, and now in attempting to come up with another speculator pass, is actually thrown it about 10 metres forward. So there's the turnover now. 5-4 with just under 7 to go. This one has gone by in a flash, and certainly not done with as of yet. Only had the one try in about the last 6 or 7 minutes. Osborne takes off. Miknovic makes the touch. Back here once again for Jacob Harrington. Now Harrington squeezing it, trying to find an opening. Shut down though. Well watched from Turner. Miknovic now for Manly, straightening up the attack. Masters just gliding along the surface. Turner takes the metres as well. Very conservative set so far from Manly. Now they'll try and straighten up the ship a touch. Lowy, who has the go-ahead try so far, will take off to this right-hand side. They'll simply kill the play. And overall, not a bad set from Manly. It wasn't one they were ever really looking to score from, but, geez, they chewed up the metres.
Yeah, Manly, if they're smart, a little bit of game management, but I do feel like they might need one more. They don't want to shut up shop just yet, James. That was a good driving set, but you want to be asking questions too.
Osborne, silky skills with the catch and pass. Oh, I think he put a foot in touch. Yes, he did. Yes, he did indeed. There's the turnover. And much to the enjoyment of the Manly fans.
Uncharacteristic error from the Eels. I do think Manly are going to need one more, James. Where's it going to come from?
I'll be keeping a close eye on Masters and Medved. I think those two have looked the most likely for them. Medved's still out there, but Masters will now head to the sideline. Here is Medved. Trip alone. And for Sam Nicholas. Carts it forward. Last one here for Medved. Floating a pass. What a ball from Medved. Oh, no. Well, it must have come just a little too late.
I think it's forward from the ruck there. So the splitter, you'll see on the replay, the dump, and then Medved comes through the middle. That's the splitter play. And it was forward from the ruck. Great call. I think it was Charlie Cheesley and Kim Skelly getting that one right. Manly probably need one more, but they're in front. But the Eels are not finished yet with 4 or 5 to go.
Now here's Latalevu. Big right foot step. Then bounding off the left over the top of the cover defence. What about the footwork there from Malachi Latalevu?
He absolutely dug a hole there in the stadium off the right foot. And when you've got footwork like that, no need to throw long. A great right foot step. I think the whole stadium shook. Down the right went. He planted it. He finished it. It's 5-all and a grandstand finish we have.
Now Fong, Masters getting low again. Now did Chatton do enough? They're going to say he did. Turned away. Masters such a threat with that long sliding dive. Turner bouncing around the 7. Last one brought up. Turner straightening. Now he has a go at them. Chatton claiming the touch. The referee disagrees. And the co-captain leads by example. Manly back in front. 6-5 with 3.5 to go.
Well, one thing for sure we're getting in this final is the good plays and the good tries are getting rewarded. You'll see there Chatton trying to get back. 2 feet not there. And the ball down. You'll see it on the slow-mo. I think it was Turner. Calabria, great position. And Turner getting rewarded with a great put down. Manly, they've hurt Para so much with those direct plays and the slide dives. They've really hurt him inside today.
Taking off again now, looking for Watkins. Last one brought up a static start to work with. Now fling it out to this right-hand side. Panic stations from Cymbolan, but you're right though. We've seen great tries with that slide dive to not just Medved, not just Turner, but also, of course, Masters, who started the whole thing. So half of their tries have come from that same play.
Yeah, and if you want some tips for like how to stop that, the player making the touch has got to be stepping forward to get the timing of it right. You can't just be passive letting them dump where they want. You've got to meet them. And the players, as you're getting back on side, 2 feet and taking a step forward. They're the two things you look for to try and stop that play. Parramatta have not been able to do it. And Manly have absolutely ripped them up with that inside plays today. The splitter, the quickie, and the quickie to the open. Those 3 plays have killed Para. But all that being said, the class of Para, they're only 1 down, and they have time, James.
2 minutes on the clock. Eels searching for that leveller. Hickey plays it. Oh, Latalevu, that was behind him. Did well to take it. Now scoops up out of acting half. Latalevu taking off. Splitston finds support. There it is on the spot. Oh, yeah. There's the lawnmower. We're starting it up. It's Luke Osborne.
How about the put down from Luke Osborne and the little Rocky Balboa jab at the end? There's the dummy splitter play. Malachi, what a player. He dummied him, went in the in goal. And Luke Osborne, I think he's 7 foot tall, but he got down quickly and got the leveller.
What a cracking contest. This is 90 seconds remaining. 6-all the score. Now Masters again, big left foot step. He's got them worried each and every time. There's a fair few Manly fans that thought that should have been a play through. Play on the call though. Now Turner, back to the middle. Miknovic, last one brought up. Long pass looking for Porter. Sheen hits the deck, so Parramatta likely having the final little look at the line. This one could well be headed for the drop-off. It probably deserves it based on both these teams coming through that process.
I want extra time, James. I'm being selfish. I want value for money. I want extra time here. The long ball hasn't worked. Hasn't it been interesting from a tactical point of view? Because the wingers are so strong. I think we mentioned Luke Mansour and Ryan Field. The wingers outside have been so strong that the long ball hasn't worked.
Here's Masters working it forward. Well, Osborne's been sensational so far. He is the Bar TV app fan-voted player of the match, but there might still be a little bit more to get through. Turner takes off. Back to Fong. Oh, geez, it was building well. Horro with an important touch. 16 seconds on the clock. Fong now links up to the middle. Late release on the pass. Fong, they're going to say touch pass. Wow, it doesn't get much closer than that. And they had a 2-on-1 out wide. 3 seconds to go. Scooped up. What a scoop it is from Watkins. Caught out of acting half. One final play. There's the penalty as the siren goes. Do they think expansive, or do they just try and play conservative and set up for the drop-off?
They'll probably just set up for the drop-off here. We're going to start with 4-on-4. How does it work, the Bar TV app? Can I name 28 players? I've just got to pick one. How does it work, James? I'm confused.
Look, it's fan voted, so the majority of the votes that come through, that's what decides our player of the match, and so far it's all been favouring Luke Osborne. I think it's a pretty good choice as well.
And it's only one vote. Where's the Bar TV? Where's the manager? How about the referee of the day? Who do we pick out of the three? Cheesley, Skelly, Calabria.
It's been a great performance. Well, I mean, it's
Osborne,
a good point.
I want to vote. You hearing me? I just want to vote somewhere. Load me the app, James.
Well, Stanton, it's a good point you raised, though, because we haven't really had to talk about the referees too much, which is the sign of a great game. It's been played at an exhilarating speed. There's been ample opportunities. This is exactly what we want. 6-all, headed to a drop-off. These two teams have been there, done that last week. So, of course, just to recap, Manly defeating Bankstown, who, of course, were minor premiers in the drop-off. It was fourth getting up against first. And then, of course, Parramatta defeating the Panthers in their drop-off, third beating second. Now here we are with a 3v4 situation and a 4-on-4 in the drop-off. So 2 minutes to sort it out. 6 apiece. We haven't been able to split them. Osborne stays out there. No surprises. Parramatta first use of the ball. Geez, that's a good little quattro, isn't it? Latalevu, Watkins, Chatton, and, of course, Osborne. Now taking off is Watkins. Great touch from Jacob Fong, who's been excellent for Manly.
Fong's been big. Chatton's been good, hasn't he? The number 9 for Para. This is a great matchup here. Osborne, trouble.
Osborne sending it wide. They'll strike first, Parramatta. They've got enough time here, Manly. Well, nobody's on him. They've got to make the touch eventually. They'll get enough time here for pretty much the whole set. Tripolone eventually gets there, but it's one right of reply. 7-6. They've got to tie it up. They've got 2 minutes in total. We don't, unfortunately, have the timer operating at the moment.
Manly looking to score on this set. Probably a bit of inexperience there, James. Luke Osborne coming onto it. You had to go man on man with him. He's not probably known for his footwork as much, and he's known for his pass, so you had to go for the less preferred option. A bit of inexperience from Manly. Para get first. Draw first blood.
Trying to squeeze through. Good touch. And last one brought up. There's all sorts of trouble now for Manly.
Great touch. Was that Wilson? It was a great touch there. Great save. Parramatta, one hand on the cup.
Masters, Medved, caught, then touched. Then the pass came. It's touch pass. Geez, they really got that set wrong, Manly.
Yeah, just a bit of inexperience. They'll learn from it. I wouldn't want to be playing them at State Cup because if they're going this good, and they've got plenty of improvements in them. Look at Hickey, space!
Now some speed from Hickey, who takes off Tripolone, trying to close down the space. Does exactly that, but that's already burnt another good 5 or 6 seconds, so a great run from Hickey. They're going to chew up the seconds on the clock here. Latalevu waits. Watkins takes off. Dummy! Now they're off! Parramatta win it! Parramatta have done enough! Watkins will climb the walls. There's the siren. And the Eels slither into the championship spot. Osborne raised the arms in triumph. He led from the front. What a performance from Parramatta. Manly. Geez, they really made them work for it. The Eels coming from behind to push it into a drop-off, and here it is once again, Stanto.
Absolutely superb. The cream has risen to the top. Finn Watkins. So much speed. Look at him run up the velodrome. He was going all the way to Tempe train station. The crowd was cheering him on. If that ramp wasn't at such an incline, I don't think anyone would have stopped him. He would have jumped the fence. But Parramatta just showing their class. I felt like Manly had the run of it for definitely the second part of that grand final. Para hung in there. Great work by coaching staff Phillips and Barton to keep the team in rhythm and calm. They stuck with Manly. But Manly, lots of learnings. And how about the next few years for this Manly lineup if that's what they can show us in their first probably time to the big dance?
Well, not even that, Stanton. We can look ahead to just a month from now. The State Cup, December 5 to 7 up in Port Macquarie. I think Manly have just arrived as maybe a bit of a dark horse now in the competition. Previously, they probably weren't on the radar, but an outstanding performance. Parramatta, of course, will look to go one better and one bigger. They want to convert this Vawdon Cup grand final victory into that State Cup championship. Of course, the main ones to knock off will be the Doyleson Dragons. Central Coast Dolphins have had their difficulties. Newcastle City Knights as well. We know they're going to be in red-hot fashion also. So there's a number of excellent options, but that'll do us here in terms of the coverage. Hope you enjoyed it all. Vawdon Cup grand final day for 2025. A slam dunk indeed for the Eels. They claim it in the drop-off. 8 tries to 6. Thank you so much for your company here today from myself and Jason Stanton. Everybody involved in New South Wales Touch. And, of course, if you're watching along at Bar TV, a big thank you to all of our camera operators and producers here today. But that is a wrap. 5 grand finals done and dusted. The Vawdon Cup for 2025.